Johnny Archer was taught straight pool by my broadcasting partner, first being from the north, of course, and and then Nick Varner, and he learns fast. He learns fast. He ran 150 on Nick Varner 2 months after his lessons. I don't play this game much down south. There isn't any action in it. It's too slow.
I think that's a good way.
Pretty much the reason Alex never plays it either. And Alex's performance in this tournament has been scintillating too. One of our 5 finalists. We have 3 Americans out of the 5. Charlie, of course, Korean American, but 3 Americans, 1 German, Thorsten Homan, and 1 Philippine player, Alex. That was not a particularly good shot. I think he got away with it if he can see the 11. I was starting to say that Charlie Williams' false starts on his shots take away just about any chance he has to develop any rhythm. And we'll remind our viewers that unless you've been playing pool all night, nobody plays pool at 10 in the morning, so there's a body clock adjustment for these players. They're both relatively young men. Sunny side of 40 is certainly young to me. But you may not see the absolute best pool played at this hour in the morning. It's certainly a possibility. I hope one of them runs out and proves me wrong. Love to be proven wrong. And
Look at that shot.
Charlie found a kick shot. I'm not sure he got his rewards. I don't know if this ball can be cut in or not.
Oh yeah, it can be cut in. He
cut
can
in.
even go up and
Yeah.
tickle that 7-11.
That's a nice shot.
And by the way, what color is that ball right there?
Are we starting that again? All right, I'm going to say for the record, pink is for panties, and I hope I never meet the guy who decided that should extend to the 4 and 12 balls. But we have purple here, so I'll be able to tell the 4 from the 5. I suppose that's progress.
Tons of progress. HD changed a lot of stuff. The need for those color balls really doesn't exist anymore, in my opinion.
It didn't create the need for a pink object ball, at least not in this game. Snooker, the tradition is pink. That's fine with me. I don't even know how many points the pink ball's worth, but I know it's pink. And that's okay. That's the way it's always been. I don't see any need for that change in this. Neither one of these players has much pace to his game, and since rhythm is so important in playing all forms of pool, it just points out what kind of pure talent each of these men really has, especially Johnny Archer.
Well, both of these players, I've seen them play their best pool when they have rhythm to their game. Case in point is I remember Charlie Williams back in 2002, the BCA had a tournament, and I don't think it was called Enjoy Pool or anything like that. Back in
I
those
don't
days.
think
It
so
was
either.
Called the BCA Open,
Mm-hmm.
and it was in Vegas in May, and they had a shot clock, and Charlie was forced to play on a shot clock,
Well,
and
it's
he
probably
won
to his,
that event.
probably to his advantage then.
It got him past that, and I believe we made a comment about it in the magazine, saying, you know, this woke Charlie up. I mean, maybe he should take note that this is the way you
This is the
can
way you-
play great pool.
This is the way you should play great pool.
I was talking to Luke Salvis one time, whom is, you know, arguably the fastest player.
He's like Butera.
Yeah,
He plays speed pool all the time.
he doesn't know any other way.
You know,
And I asked-
speed pool's a full-time venture for him. It's not it's just a carnival for TV.
Well, yeah, he goes, well, I know what the shot is. I know where to hit it. Why do I have to think about it?
That's essentially what Karras said when he played Lassiter. Lassiter was a dawdler. Karras played quickly. And he said, I'm a professional. I know what I have to do. I don't see why it should take much time. And notice here, this is subtle, but Charlie is going to re-break that 2-ball tandem in the direction of his intended break shot, and you'd rather not do that. He doesn't have much choice here.
And that 7 is getting, or the 11 is going to be hit just a hair high, And he could stick to the 7 because he's going to hit underneath it.
Whenever possible.
There he is, sticking to the 7.
Whenever possible, you like to shoot your secondary break shots in a direction away from the ball you intend to save.
Exactly.
You can't always get what you want, as we said before, but that's what you strive for. We had hoped to bring you some of the more renowned position players like Ray Martin and Danny Berruti and Mike Siegel, but Danny Berruti ran out of gas, and unfortunately Ray Martin had his one less than stellar game here on camera for us. I don't know if it's the cameras that are bringing the players down or not. Probably not. Just one of those things.
All right, this was a little bit of low English. I don't like this shot here.
Well, you're not supposed to run into your key ball. And you see that he gets punished for doing just that. He's going to have to go either 1 or 3 rails for position here. But these players are basically shot makers, so when tough shots come up, it's not the stymie that it would be for a full-time straight pool player.
Sure. Full-time straight pool player, this might terrify them.
Well, they wouldn't be happy to see it, let's put it that way. You never want to run into a second object ball without a purpose, least of all your key ball or your break shot. All right, we're on a 14 for Charlie Williams after Johnny Archer missed the game's opening shot. A little more length to this shot than Charlie would like, but that's the price he paid for upsetting his key ball. Gives him an excuse to hit the shot a little harder, which he can probably use.
I think you're right.
When the European players study the rack to determine where the cue ball will land, they use their cues. They put their cue over the shot line, and they put the cue joint right over the cue ball, and 90 degrees from that is where they expect to go into the stack. These are the pitfalls of overdrawing a break shot. Could hit the cue ball a little less low to counter that, and where you want to be is the center of the table.
Yeah, you really have to know whether you're hitting the top side or the bottom side of a ball.
Oh, there's no question about that.
Without that knowledge, you're going to be in this position quite a few times in your life.
I had never seen players do that before I saw the Europeans, and when I asked one of them about it, he said, well, it's not rocket science, and we all do it. Even if you're not using center ball, follow at speed will create the 90-degree effect, at least initially.
When I was learning to play straight pool, that was one of the first things I had to figure out by myself, was how is this going to hit? If it's 90 degrees, where does it go?
Right.
And I started realizing you don't want 2 items. You don't want to paddle downstream and end up on the bottom rail. So it's a big, big thing to know. I think that's, I made that transition from, 2 or 3 racks to where you could do 7, 8 racks.
Oh, sure. There's no question you jump a couple plateaus once you got that as part of your arsenal.
Sure. And I guess Charlie's going to have to deal with this ball on the side rail, this 110, 114.
114. He might be able to get there right now. Don't want to leave that up there too long. Rail ball should come off early in the sequence, ideally. There he goes. Going to be 14-8, I would think.
I would think. Now, you can come across and barely brush the 3, but I wouldn't even play with that.
I wouldn't leave the 8 ball up there. It can't do you any good.
He has to take it away.
Charlie disagrees.
Oh, he's saying maybe I'll just shoot it from here. You and I would have shot it underneath.
I'd have shot it from as short as possible. These players, not much difference.
I think he might be able to hit the top side of the 7, but again, he's breaking balls.
The 3 and the 8 ball need a divorce.
And the 3 and the 4 ball?
Oh, there we go again. 3 and the 4. And that's not going to be it, I don't think. I mean, I don't know if he can see the edge of the 3 ball or not.
I think he's going to be shooting at either the 2 or the 8.
Yeah, I think so too.
What do you see him having planned here for this 3-4?
Well, I don't think he's going to use the 11. That's because that's going to be his break ball. Let me see. He's going to play the, was that the 6? He may be thinking about drawing the 6. I wouldn't suggest it, but he may be thinking about it. I don't think he's got enough of the 3 ball to get a cue ball 2 as they lie right now. That shot was something less than great. That shot lacked greatness, as we say.
Lacked zeal.
I don't know what he's looking at here.
I think he's trying to see if he can see the 11.
And he can't, and it wouldn't be advisable even if he could. He doesn't have a good break ball otherwise. The 9 is mediocre. It's kind of high.
I think he's shooting the 11. He's going to run into the 3-4 softly.
Wait, he can't. Oh, the 11, he can see it?
Yeah, he can see it.
He's going to have to shoot it very softly to touch the 4.
I think he's going to run right into the 3, to tell you the truth. He might be able to create a bottom break shot with the 3. Going to draw it here. Try and kill his rock is what he looks like he's doing.
He's not frozen on that 7 ball? If he were, he wouldn't be able to hit the 11. I guess he's not if he's looking at it. Like I said, he did hit the 4 ball. And it's not really a great break shot down there either. It's too wide.
No, it needs
You
to
can barely
be centered
contact
a
the
little
you
bit
can
more.
barely contact the corner ball with that using the 4 as a break shot.
Now that 9 looks like a decent break shot.
From
but I
where
don't-
the cue ball is now, if he can get back there.
If he could get the cue ball right back to where it's at.
Yeah. Maybe he could ask the referee to take those 4 balls off the table and just proceed.
Yeah.
You know, dispensation.
He could try.
Take an awfully favoring referee. Yeah, I think he'll bring the cue ball back between the 1 and 7 here. Maybe he's might be trying to save the 7 on the side using the 1 as a cue ball.
I think you're right.
And whether that involves running the 1 up the rail into the corner pocket up table or getting past it and shooting it down here remains to be seen. Most players don't like to roll a ball past the side points of a side pocket.
I don't think he was thinking of doing that. I don't think he realizes that there's a side pocket break shot here.
We'll see. He can't, with this little angle on the 1, he'd be hard-pressed to get a good, he's looking at the side pocket here. He'd be hard-pressed to get a good angle on the right-hand corner pocket on the 7 from here, though. Shot's too straight. This only needs to be rolled forward.
Well, he knew he was getting straight, and he
Yeah.
said, no, that's no good. And
what can I do with
well,
this?
It was actually perfect if he was trying to get a shot in the side.
Yeah, right, but he wasn't considering a shot in the side. Well, I might as well take this. It's all I left myself. So he's measured up a shot for the side, And plays position for the same. Went maybe a ball width farther than ideal.
And I actually agree with what he's done there. He's placed that ball fairly well. He's going to be able to use a nice level stroke.
And he can get to the top of the stack where escape is easiest. Remember, on all break shots, it's not enough to know that your cue ball is going into a cluster. You want to know where it's going into that cluster and how it's going to escape.
And if it's going to touch a rail, which direction is it going once it touches the rail?
Right.
Another little thing is sometimes people don't realize how the balls break out, like where that ball is. Like when you're tickling a rack, which ball's coming out?
Mm-hmm.
And what
where is
direction
it going?
Sometimes in this situation where you might not get an optimum hit, which ball comes out? Is it the 4 ball?
Yeah. If am I going to get one shot or two out of this?
See, watch the 9 and the 4 here.
Well, he opened up 5 balls, which is pretty fair for that break shot, really. He can play position for either the 11 or the 1 now.
But on
Looking
that
at the
break
11.
shot, what I was saying there is on that break shot, he wasn't going to get a good break.
It wasn't going to splatter the ball, so he had to be precise about where the opened balls would go.
Right. And the 4 ball was the big ball, and now he can re-break with the 1 if he comes down.
I think he's going to use the 11.
Think?
Mm-hmm.
I can see it.
1 ball's a safety valve here.
I just like the idea that I could go into the 12 and splatter the rack the other direction
Mm-hmm.
and really have a nice line. This just seems like I'm caroming up off the 14 as soon as I hit this ball.
He's going to hit hard enough to get a good solid contact with the 14. The 14 ball is going to do most of the work here. If indeed he shoots this, the
He's
11.
looking at the 8 ball. See, the 8 ball is, maybe he is going to decide to go
Isn't
for
that
the
this?
1.
Isn't that the 6?
Well, I thought he was going to get up on top,
Oh,
make
oh,
the
oh.
9 and get on top and shoot the 8 ball.
I see.
I
That's a
still
nice
like-
plan too.
I like the 1 because it looks the 14's a loose ball.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of that stack, those 6 balls are kind of touching.
Okay.
Maybe not the 13. I'm busting the touching balls away. I don't want to hit
All right.
balls that are going to freeze, and I'm going to freeze
No,
to them.
the problem with the 11 then would be that the 8 ball is going to absorb some of the cue ball's momentum. Looks like he's going for number 6. He went for the 9. That's 6 upside down.
Oh.
No more 11 for him, and now he's straight in on the 1, so it's not nearly as productive as it was. He's going to take a look at the 11 going the other way here. And any time that the pack is jostled in any way, even if nothing comes out, you should take a walk around the table and see what's new. You never can tell. This is where players like Ray Martin and Dan DiLiberto would get way ahead of their competition by finding shots that no one else could see. I'm not saying one exists now, but he hasn't looked very hard for one either. Maybe he's going to do that now. Straight in is no great ally in straight pool unless it leaves you straight in for something else. I can't tell if he got up enough for the 12 or not. I don't think so.
No. I don't think that's a 12. I think that's the 10 ball.
The
right
10, yeah, I
there.
think you're right. The 12's next to the 5. The 4, sorry. No, it's the 5. We got purple 4 today. It's the 12 is next to the 5. You can see half the 10 ball, but it's the wrong half.
Well, I don't see anything right off the top of my head.
I don't see anything at all.
I mean,
I do see a safety off the 13 ball maybe, but I don't see an open shot. He may feather the 12 and send the cue ball long here.
I may stick him to the rack.
He's going to do what I said and hope the 14 ties up the 6, and it did.
Sure.
Well, that closes off that, so that's a good safety. A run of Let's see, 3, 6, 11, run a 32 for Johnny Archer, or for Charlie Williams. 32-0 is the score.
32 and safe, not the worst.
Of course, this is one of the greatest 9-ball players who ever chalked a cue, and he's accomplished that without any pace at all to his game, either in 9-ball or straight pull.
Well, when he was younger, he played fairly fast.
He's slowed down considerably since. The most dreaded table manicurist in all of pool. He will not tolerate a speck of lint. And he used to spend a lot of time surveying the cloth for just that. Remarkable shooting eye, and that's just pure athletic skill. He did play 3 sports in high school, including football, despite his being almost as thin as his cue. But he played some high school football, and he played, as I recall, the other sports were basketball and tennis. I might have that wrong.
Charlie's looking at that 14 ball right now. He wants to be able to hit that 3, that 13 into the 3,
But he
make
has
that 14 ball.
He can't just shoot it. He has to hit the 3 fairly precisely because the shot isn't quite on. He needs to hit the 3 on the side of it nearest us. And that's, well, since he doesn't have a real good view of the 13, the shot is possible, but I want to emphasize it takes some precision. It's not absolutely dead.
Well, he's going to have to cut the 13 thin, hit a little bit of draw, run into that 15 that's right there beside it. That would
To
be
stop
a
the
great,
cue ball.
Great break shot.
Would be, yes. Destined for oblivion now. All right, he needs to cut the 13 into the left-hand half of the 3. And there it goes. And where's the cue ball going?
Going downtown.
Oh, he's going to, oh, that's position while you wait, like DiLiberto used to say. The 15 rolled up there very accommodatingly.
Right away, he's looking at possibly using the 3 to manufacture a decent break shot. Even though the 13's there, I think he needs to kind of
13's
cover his bases.
13's in jeopardy if he shoots this 15.
Right. And look at this traffic on the bottom rail. I think the 11's the key. You get the 11 out of there, you can work it. 5, it's not so key, but it's something to start with at least.
If all the other balls were gone, the 5 ball wouldn't be a bad key ball at all.
Not at all.
But I think it's coming off the table right now.
I think he's gone. Hit right into the 11.
Well,
look
he
at this.
fooled us again. Took his break shot right out of there. He hopes, and we heard him say, I hope the 11 goes, and I think it does. If it doesn't, the 12 certainly does, and he could use the 12 to break up that 3-ball cluster near the spot with 2 3 safety valve shots.
I don't think the 11 goes.
Apparently he disagrees. That's what he's looking at. I think the 12 is the right shot.
Well, if it went by the 11, it would be, but
We can't tell from here. If it clears the 11, that's the right shot. You send the cue ball right into the 8 ball.
well,
That takes
I think
care of
he
that
shoots
cluster.
the 11 and then he deals with the 12.
He may be playing position for the 3 ball to nudge the other 3 balls apart.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
No, it was fine.
And I don't do anything with this 12. I just go ahead and think about getting position on that 3, to tell you the truth. I might miss the 5 on the way up.
Oh, almost certainly he missed the 5 on the way up unless he draws the ball. Okay, he's going to use the 5 to get on the 3.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, yeah, that's fine. I imagine at the right angle he can break out both key ball and break ball here. Just a break ball. shoots this combination shot, he's probably thinking about leaving the cue ball in the rack and breaking with the 15. Because once he moves the 8 ball from where it is now, he doesn't really have a legitimate break shot.
Well, you can pocket that too and let the cue ball run against the 6 at some point if he can get the cue ball.
If he can get over to the other side here.
Thing is he's going to use the 15 to do that.
This is the second time we've seen a player roll an object ball 2 rails for break shot position. We certainly encourage our viewers to try something simpler than that. One rail or no rails if you're going to manufacture a break shot that way. But sending an object ball off 2 rails just introduces way too many variables.
So you're saying these are trained professionals, don't try this at home?
Pretty much.
How about the fact that you're going to shoot and manufacture your break shot on the final shot of the rack?
That's about 8 shots too late. I've seen it done, and I've been in that trap many times myself, but it's not the way to play straight pool. It's the ant. That's the ant and the grasshopper there. That was a terrible shot.
That was horrible. And you
he
can
knows.
see
He knows.
He's not going to self-commentary there, but he definitely wants to.
Going to use. If he doesn't go 3 rails, he's going to use inside English here to kill the cue ball coming off the rail. Remind our viewers, inside English is an incredibly valuable ally in this particular game.
If you shoot a lot of 3 cushion, you'll learn how to play inside English.
Right. I guess if he takes the 8 ball, I don't think he wants a break shot from the head spot. That's unthinkable.
There's a lot of things that I could say I would do at this point. Shooting the 8 in is not one of them.
Not one of them, no. If you had a chance to leave your cue ball somewhere with a favorable angle on that head spot shot, maybe. Even if he sinks this shot and kills the cue ball and gets a decent angle on the 8 is pretty high for a break shot. And that high and that close to the rail, well, we'll see. We'll see. He may even go 3 rails for position here. I wouldn't. I'd go 1. He's going 3.
I think he hit it pretty well.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He's going to have to hit this break shot at a little reduced speed, or the cue ball is going to miss the rack completely.
Dennis Walsh
Keeping score.
keeping score for us up there.
Dennis must send players on his email list 2 videos a week of players running balls. He really loves straight pool. Great supporter of the game. A sponsor of this tournament too, and a league player back in Chicago. A lawyer, terrific guy. Incredibly generous.
Seems like a nice guy.
He really is. Good chess player too. Many of these pool players play good chess. Ouija C was a chess prodigy in the Netherlands. He played 12, 15 people at the same time, turned his back on the table. Ed Deska, who played here, plays very good chess. Danny Baruti is a grandmaster. And it's not really surprising to me. I think the two games are not similar, but the thinking seems to go together. And exactly it's called. Charlie breaks the balls ideally at reduced speed. When you hit the cue ball with follow at above average speed, it follows the 90-degree rule, and that wouldn't have got him a break shot. Normally follow gets you an angle of 30 degrees from where you originally began off the object ball.
211, he's looking at it to see if he can get action on it.
I don't think he needs it. It's not going to be there after he makes this 10 ball anyhow.
Oh, he was trying to get into there, see if he hits the 4, 14, 2, 11, but I think he's going to go ahead and cut the 10 ball.
I believe that certainties are better than probabilities in this game. The 11 ball might go, but the 10 certainly will, and that makes the 10 the better proposition.
There you go. I always, when in doubt, shoot the shot straight in.
And ideal speed.
He's looking at that 7 right away. That's getting that ball out of there is going to be key.
Well, the only real problem here are the 5 and 9. It's not much of a problem. Only one ball needs to be moved. would say that Charlie's win over Oliver Ortman qualifies as the upset of the whole tournament. That was one of my pre-tournament picks to win. He and the other one both went out about the same time. Mika's mojo just doesn't seem to work in this particular tournament. He's finished second twice.
Next ball, the 6.
It should be the 6 or the 12. If you note the position of the 13, 12, 6 and the ball he's shooting now, those are the 4 balls nearest the 4 corner pockets, and those are the balls ideally you'd try and connect. It doesn't mean you're way out of line or you're stuck if you don't, but that's how the game is classically played. You send your cue ball in a circle around the racking area. It's called playing from the outside in. And you wind up with balls in the racking area for the optimal break shot.
Have you ever heard of the term wagon wheeling?
No.
That's what they'll refer to it as wagon.
Wagon wheeling? Oh,
Yeah.
that makes some sense. Circle the wagons.
Circle the wagon.
Yeah. 13-9 would be a nice play here. He's not going to go for it, though. Well, maybe he will. The combined track and swimming events of the last 10 Olympics have nothing on Charlie Williams when it comes to false starts. Gotcha there, did I?
Yeah, you did. Is this going to be a false one?
Well timed.
Well,
Making a second object ball on a shot as he just did is really not the reward you would think it is. He'd rather have it up there to play position with.
now he has to draw this
And he
into
didn't.
this 4.
And he didn't anticipate it's going in. So it's one more ball, but it costs him a good chance at better position than this. He can still conquer this. Yeah, he's going to go into the 4.
But he has to draw it, or he's going to shoot it straight at the rail almost. Oh, look at this. He's just decided that.
He's going to save the 13. And that's really a half-assed break shot. He would have probably liked a better angle on the 10 so he could move the 4 out. Yeah,
He can
but it's
manufacture it.
too late in the rack to be bumping balls, though. You should have been decided well before this. Time to decide on a break shot is when all the other balls on the table are open. Now he's manufactured a break shot, but look what a terrible key ball he has.
Yeah, he was supposed to hit that ball with a little bit of draw so he could get that cue ball to come back at the same time.
And the right-hand half of the table, so where he wouldn't have this daunting an angle.
Well, it's a good lesson to show that speed is one thing, and that determines how far your cue ball will go on along the tangent line.
Mhm.
And spin is another thing. That's how far it'll go along.
If you alter its angle of rebound off a rail.
Well, in that situation there, you add the two together and you say center ball at that speed gets
Mhm.
me stuck.
Right.
A hair of draw at that speed
I come
pulls
back.
me back 6 inches, and I've got a decent makeable ball.
Charlie Williams is pitching a 4-rack shutout here. I don't like this as a break shot. It's the reason I don't is because it's not particularly easy to estimate where on the rack the cue ball is going to land, and you've got to touch a corner ball coming off that rail. Ideally, the 11. So he could hit one of the top 2 balls, but the cue ball is going to go up table. And if he hits the 11, that will serve as the apex of the triangle. And if he doesn't stick there, he'll get a good solid break. That's what he's looking at. If he hits the ball above the 11, he's in deep doo-doo.
He's going for a ride down table.
Well, and the shot is not, well, he can reach the shot. We'll see. The cue ball must contact the 11 here. And didn't, and he's going up table. And he's cut off from open balls, I think. I don't think
He's
he
got
can
the 7.
Can he see the 7?
He can see the 7.
It's still 8 feet away, and he's on the rail. This is not where you want to be when you've just broken the balls. It's better than no shot whatsoever, and especially for shot makers like this, but this is not ideal straight pool here.
Could be worse.
I suppose. Well, the Europeans have this break shot. It wouldn't have been available there, but on break shots in the center of the table, most of the European players are accustomed to drawing all the way back to the head rail and out again. It's nice to do with new cloth. We certainly don't recommend it as a way of playing the game, because you figure to create mini clusters along the 3 surrounding rails hitting the ball that hard. But they all do it, especially Thorsten Hohmann, who's probably the best pure straight pool player remaining of our 5 remaining competitors.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He is definitely the purest straight pool player right now, left out of the 5 players.
To have eyes. Isn't it wonderful to have eyes like that?
And something about a straight stroke too, and
Yeah,
you know,
that's
ticker.
it's good to it's due to good basics. That's all it is. You produce the same stroke for that shot that you produce for a shot 6 inches away.
Those remaining balls in the rack look like a trick shot called a football.
Yeah, they all 6 in one shot. The 7's dead up table. I don't know if he needs it, but it'll go.
I really would have been looking to do something with the 8 here into the 9.
He's going to draw into the stack here.
I don't think
Not that we recommend this either. If the 6 ball weren't there, he could draw in the stack with the 11 as a safety valve, but the 11 doesn't go. Well, all right. He ran into the wrong ball.
I think he has to seriously look at the 3 ball being a break ball for this stack secondary, because nothing goes and everything's.
Yeah, I think he probably will too. He's got the 12 ball to play position with.
Exactly.
Too far.
He went too far with it.
2 ball widths too far. What Mosconi would do here is shoot the 5 without any question. Clears the path for the 10, and you always want the paths to corner pockets open in this game, because that's where 85–90% of the scoring figures to be done. He'll get away with this, but just barely. And he could shoot the 11 if he wanted to.
Does that 9-14 go up in the corner?
It can be made, but it's not. The 11-7 is much straighter.
Yeah, it does look a little bit straighter, and it can be thrown.
Yes.
The 9-14.
Too far apart to throw.
Far. Yeah, it's not going to throw.
Now, balls need to be within a quarter inch if you want to get the throw effect. Charlie runs into another ball unnecessarily. Take a lesson, viewers. Do not move secondary object balls without a purpose. He didn't mean to do that, but he pays the same punishment as if he did. I wonder if the 4-11 goes here. He's looking at it.
He's got a shot at it. I don't think it's optimum, but what is at this point in his rack?
Three in the side is far from optimal too. And so is the 14 up the rail, all caused by his running into the 14 unnecessarily. Is that the 10?
That's the 10, sure.
All caused by his running into it unnecessarily. 9-ball players are usually very good at running a ball up a rail like this. And it seems to me, unless that combination on the 4-ball is workable, that the 10 is his only real option here.
He's decided on this 3 in the side.
I don't even know if he'll contact the stack doing that.
Oh, he won't. This is a waste of a decent shot. The only thing he can do is draw down to the bottom rail and come straight back up, but with all those balls just a hair apart,
He'll never get the balls open that way.
No.
The only way this shot works out is he comes out on the other side of the 11 ball.
I'm going to be prepared to be dazzled. That's all I'm going to say, because nothing here works.
You better stop. Albino fool. It's not good, he says, and he's right. He avoided.
We concur.
Yeah, we agree, Charlie. Very good. It was not good. I don't think he'll get any debate on that. And if he makes this, that's one more ball, because I don't know what he's going to do with these remaining 6. He may shoot the 11 as a give-up shot. He may shoot it now.
He could shoot it right now if he really wanted to, or
if he really believed in it. You know.
If it was a shot that he felt so strongly about, he would be shooting it. But he's going to
or he would have played it earlier.
Right. He's definitely going to come down and try and pocket this 10. I believe he will make it.
He
which is
didn't
why he
deserve
missed it.
to. He was 2 diamonds off. And, well, we'll find out now whether the 14 or the 7 ball go, because Johnny doesn't have much choice here.
So he picked up 8 balls there, did he?
All right, 64-0 for Charlie Williams. And he picked out the one of those 6 balls that I didn't think he would play.
Johnny having a little bit of fun with the crowd. Might be down 64-0.
Well,
That's
he's lighthearted about it. That's the way to be. There's no point in sputtering and fuming about it. The points will not come off the scoreboard, whether you think they belong there or not.
maybe he's saying, Charlie, that was the ugliest 64 I've ever seen in my life.
Right up there, or down there, as the case may be.
But it wasn't a 64.
Well, it wasn't
run.
a run of 64.
It was
it was
36,
two. Yeah, it was 2 semi-ugly
32.
innings.
Yeah, 32 on the first inning and then a safe.
Of the 3 balls at the top of this cluster that he might play, I think the 2 is the least probable. It looks like he's looking at it in the side. Does have the advantage of opening up the other balls. All right. Johnny's excited to be on the board. You'll see worse patterns than this one Alex plays. Although I will say that in the 7 months since I last saw Alex play straight pool, and his only experience with straight pool has been at Derby City, which is largely a long run contest. He can't possibly have played any straight pool in the interim because the game is of no interest to him. There's no action in it. But in the 7 months since Derby City, he is running far more sophisticated patterns than I saw him running last January, where he was really going 1 ball at a time and had next to no idea of what he was doing. That was an unpleasant confrontation between the cue ball and the 15 that stuck Johnny next to that tandem. He can make that ball up table, but he'd have been better off if the 15 had left the cue ball alone, or vice versa. And we can look and look and look, but this ball up table is the only shot he has. And we might point out that his joking with the crowd as he came to the table is a way of relieving tension. He's not happy to be 64 balls down. That's a third of the game. He can recoup it, but it has to begin somewhere, and this is not the ideal place from which to begin.
He knows right now he has to make the ball.
Any given shot, he's an overwhelming favorite to sink. I don't know what he wants for position out of this. I think he's just going to cinch the ball. The 9 ball's actually out.
I think the 9 ball's out of the rack. The
Yeah.
14 goes. He could even get position on the 11 or the 15 up in the far corner.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the optimum obviously would be to save the 15 as his key ball. If he wants, he could even use the 10 as his key ball.
It's going to be tough to get from the 14 to the 10 or vice versa.
I
Can
think
be done.
he can just follow down to the rail and come back up in between the 10, 15. with
Or play the 10 with right hand draw and go to the center of the table for the 14. Play
Sure.
2 rail position on the 15.
Sure. He seems to like your idea better.
I can't say I blame him. A little too hard. Might opt for inside English here rather than outside. Inside English in 1 rail rather than outside English in 2. That's what he's looking at.
Cue ball's back to almost exact same location.
Just about where he came from.
And I don't think the position has changed from the 14 to the 15.
No.
A little bit of high, maybe a little bit of right. Bottom rail.
He's going 2. Don't touch that ball. Okay. This is not quite the optimal angle. In order to come off the rail and get back to the center of the table here, he's going to have to bomb this ball, because he only has about 3 or 4 degrees.
At this point here, I start to look at a side break on that, and that's what he's doing as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Looking to see how much in the rack it is.
2 ball widths either way on the cue ball would be ideal for the 15, but he didn't get there. That's how subtle straight pool can be.
And you think, well, anything over there will do half the time.
Yeah, well, there's times when area position play will simply not do, and this is one of them.
Precision. Have you ever tried to play straight pool on a 4x8?
Yes, yes.
How do you like it?
Well, I did achieve my long run there, but the pockets were the size of manholes. The tables were aptly named for the late Harold Wurst, but it was in the downtown area, and we still had pool at lunch. There's 6 pockets and 15 balls on those horrible tables. Johnny uses full table draw to achieve position. Again, not a typical straight pool ploy, but the only real choice he had other than a side pocket break.
I believe Johnny's going to end up with 6 there.
Well, he's on the board. We're at 64 to 6.
64 to 6.
Cindy Lee and the great photographer Carl Kantrowitz gracing the media room. It's about 18 degrees in here, and my bladder is shrieking in protest, although it's probably more information than our viewers need.
I think I saw the chef come by earlier. They were storing meat in this room, and I think...
Cindy and her goose flesh just left the room.
I think some of our fans are...
They could store meat in here right now. They're storing us. That's what I'm going to be in about 3 more racks. It's a frozen slab of beef.
I think some of the viewers are a little bit surprised as to the fact that Johnny has a break shot out of that mess.
Yeah, it's clumsily achieved, but still a break shot, no style points. You hit that break shot with more restraint than you would expect to see from a 9-ball player, which is good. What he's looking at here is to see if he can make a break shot out of the 15 ball instead of the 3. The 8 ball will intercept the cue ball if he uses the 3. Probably should be thinking about using the 4 or the 7. General consensus that the best break shots in straight pool come from the side of the rack. Mike Siegel prefers to break from underneath. John Schmidt likes to break into a side pocket, but Mosconi and his peers played for break shots like the 4 and the 7. Greenleaf liked to break into a side pocket too, but he was playing with clay balls on a 5x10 table, and that's a totally different game.
That's, yeah, that's totally different.
Actually, Greenleaf, having split almost every major title of his era with Frank Taberski, nominated the almost invisible Arthur C. Woods as the toughest opponent he ever faced. Given Greenleaf's dismal legend, we have to consider the man's condition at point of query. I can't tell you anything about Arthur C. Woods. All right, Johnny's going to use the 3, and with this steep an angle, he will not run into the 8-ball. Gets a modified break shot with the 5-ball up table, maybe.
Maybe. He's not quick to let it go, so I think he is going to shoot
I
it.
think it's going to go. Could have gotten a better scatter out of that last shot. I'm sure Johnny would agree.
Well, I think what he wants to do at this point here is nudge the 6.
Well, he's not
And then
going
go
to
up.
do it with this ball.
Well,
Not with the 5.
I think he's going to pocket the 5.
He might be looking to see if the 5 goes on the side.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Pocket the
I
5
thought
on the
he's,
side.
that's how he's talking
Move
about.
the cue into the 6. There
There we go.
Now he's going to look at that 14 or that 10-2 and see if he even needs to do anything, and I don't think he does.
I don't think it goes, but he doesn't. He can get on the balls easily enough. I think both the 10 and the 2 will go in this left-hand corner.
Well, he has his choice of break shots. What he needs to do now is figure out whether there's a way to wagon wheel around and pick off 1 or 2 of these along the way and make sure that it's an open rack
No.
in the next 3 or 4 balls.
The 12, 11, 14, and 15 would make a nice sequence here in any order. And then you re-identify the next 4 balls closest to the 4 corners, and you go that way.
10-2 doesn't look dead in the corner. It
No,
looks like
it's maybe throwable, but I don't think he needs to do that.
I don't think he needs to do that. I think he can actually pick it off.
He could bust him apart by using the 1 ball here.
Sure could. The only problem with that is that if he hits the inside of the 10,
Or hits the head of the 10 and sits there.
yeah. He's going to go pick up some points and get rid of some garbage.
He's going to listen to George and go 12, 11. Well,
14.
that's it, George. Open your mouth and move him right off that shot. He was all set to do what I
He went,
said.
"What?
Oh, George wants me to do that. I'm going another way.
Oh, wait a minute.
That can't be right. He's from the north. All right, well, you can say goodbye to the 10-2 tandem right here.
I think what he wants to do is hit the 10. I always hit the top ball going into a mess like this because I don't want to get trapped.
Right, and you know the bottom wall will be there for you.
Exactly.
Well, he went into the bottom ball and did not get the optimal results you indicated, and he's chattering about it now. Yeah, take the 11 off like I told you to.
That's a good safety shot now, like it's safety valve.
11 ball with 2-rail position. All the others are open. Inconvenient, but nothing to a shot maker like this. All right, JR is going to take a little break here. I'm still with you. Johnny pretty clearly wants to save the 1 ball here, or he should.
He's still working it.
Yes, and it's really not all that complex. What he's looking for is a good key ball since he has to shoot the 6 now. He'd like to save the 1. None of the 3 remaining balls is particularly attractive as a key ball, although any could be used.
I actually think he's got 4 key balls. I must be going crazy.
Well,
Or I'm not key balls, break balls.
4 break balls?
Yeah.
Well, all right. You're not supposed to leave 2, and Johnny's left 4. Maybe that's why he's in such a pickle.
Oh, there's certainly no key balls.
No. And here goes the best of the 4.
I think so. Small sacrifice to make at times.
Well, I suppose you can't have them all.
He's going to have to start taking them off. I do know that.
Yeah, you can only have one. (64-20) now for Charlie Williams. That was not the most graceful 14-ball run you're ever going to see, but it's still 14 points. Johnny made that way harder than it needed to be. With the break ball this low, Johnny will have to depend on cue ball dynamics to find an appropriate part of the rack to take on here. He's not going to be able to get back to the top 2 balls. He can't play this with follow because the next destination would be the subway. So he's going to have to draw this. I wouldn't be surprised to see him use inside draw to get over to the left side rail here. Well, he played it with follow and beat the scratch by
half a diamond.
Well, no, he hit the pocket jaw, and it was only the fact that he got as much follow on the cue ball as he did that kept it out of the drink that time. When you go off the bottom 2 corner balls, your cue ball is going to take a diagonal path that's towards a pocket, and that can't possibly be good. He got away with it, though.
It generally does not work out to your advantage.
No, you do not want to fiddle with the pocket jaws at any time. If the table's tough, use the center of the pocket. You don't have to worry about the pocket jaws, and that's Buddy Hall's philosophy. Johnny can make the 11-10 easily enough here. He's just trying to formulate some kind of plan. He's going to play the 1 down here to our left. It's the only ball he hasn't looked at so far, but that's the ball he's going to shoot. Now he's looking at. See if the 9-6 might go. And it's close. You can use the 12 ball to throw it, or the 13 if it doesn't go. It's awfully close. Use the 1 as a break ball. I wasn't looking for that.
Well, I was looking at him coming up into the 6, and he hit it great. Whenever I'm trying to re-break a stack, I always look for the cluster that's still touching. I need the
frozen balls, yeah.
And that's a big lesson for some people. They just go ahead and say the stack is a stack.
Well, that's not true. If the balls are apart, it's like quicksand. Years ago, hustlers used to rack the balls loose so you couldn't get them open on the break. And that same phenomenon exists in straight pool mid-rack if the balls have air in there. But when you have frozen balls, you contact one and it affects the rest, and that's what you want out of a break shot.
Right.
And he's got to get this 5 ball off early in his sequence. There's no reason to leave it up there. If he were ahead 40 balls instead of behind 40 balls, he might have begun this rack with the 5 ball after the break shot. He had about the same shot you see now. All right, don't listen. See if I can. And there goes the 10.
Look at Charlie. He's just trying to.
I can't watch. It's too horrible. It's pretty obvious. He's just trying to block out, and that's what you want to do in the chair. You can't stop anything your opponent does. There's no blocking or tackling in this. You have to leave him be. Charlie's probably wise not to watch. Rest your eyes. Clear your head. You're going to get back to the table eventually. Kind of an ugly shot.
Yeah, this is.
He's probably going to go 14-5. That's what he should do. Come back 3-12.
Yeah, he doesn't want to try and cut this 12.
Neither the 6 nor the 13 go, so he's going to save the 9 ball. I sure hope he doesn't plan to use the 5 as a key ball. It's really not ideal. Should have come off 3 or 4 shots earlier. Balls in the upper half of the table are not going to help you. They're certainly not going to become break shots, so you might as well get rid of them early. A few years ago, Johnny was talking about taking up pro golf. That's how disenchanted he was with pool. Great natural athlete, probably wouldn't have much trouble playing good golf. I don't know if he can play to par. Best golfer on the pool circuit is generally considered to be John Schmidt, who in high school actually went head-to-head with a promising young contemporary named Tiger Woods. You needn't ask how he did, but he played him. As I recall, he lost by 7 strokes. John was the star of his high school golf team near San Bernardino. Almost every tournament, John Schmidt heads for the local golf course to hit a couple buckets of balls. Great relaxer, great exercise. I don't particularly care for the game, but hitting the balls themselves is nice exercise. Sure wish pool could pay off like that. I wouldn't want to sit on a hot stove waiting till it does, but I wish it did.
Yeah.
Well, this is what you get for leaving the ball up there too long. I'm sorry, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but that ball should have come off many balls earlier than this. It's almost as though the game is punishing you for your mistakes. And he should have played it off 1 rail rather than 2 anyhow.
Sure. I agree. Come at it directly.
And when you can get away with it, softer is better than hard in this game. I don't want to pursue that metaphor any further. Or at the very least, I'll say that that theory is based on dim memory. Good morning. A good lesson for our viewers here. Balls this close to a pocket are not easy to play position from.
They're really
And
not.
a good exercise a good drill to practice is put some paper reinforcements, little paper donuts down on a table. Give yourself a hanger like this and practice sending the cue ball to various destinations, but it is not easy to judge coming off the back of a pocket like this, and he went too far. There's the proof.
That is.
Well, Charlie adds 1 ball to his score. I believe that puts him at 65, and Johnny Archer's at 33. We still got a match. Somewhat soggy one, but a match.
For those of you just tuning in, you're watching the quarterfinals of the World 14.1 tournament. The winner of this tournament, or this match, moves into the Final Four. Guaranteed third place. I'm J.R. Calvert with Inside Pool. Joining me in the booth is George Fells. George, we're not even probably halfway through the match yet.
A third.
A third. What's your feelings on the match right now?
You've got 2 deliberate players, each trying to find some kind of flow. That's what we haven't seen. Both these players have been playing pretty much ball to ball. We have not seen a fully fleshed out plan.
We haven't seen anybody catch a gear.
No, not at all. Although Charlie Williams did run the first 3 racks, but it was not a particularly effortless run. Johnny Archer made his turns at the table more difficult than they had to be. But we still got 2/3 of this match to go. That's about as good as you could hope for from that
That
shot.
was a great shot. A great stroke.
Great shot, and he caught part of the corner ball, which allowed the cue ball to escape.
He catches a second ball up. That's nowhere
Second
near.
ball up, that's where you stay. It's got the mass of the whole rack behind it, and you've got one white ball moving at moderate speed. You're not going to move anything very far doing that. But the corner ball has space on one side, and that allows your cue ball some egress.
So he pulls it back. Now
He's going to
he
use this
hits
as
a
a break.
10.
He's going to use this as a break shot. Yeah, he'd have to hit the 10. If he hits the 12, there's no future.
It's the 5. I think that the problem there is that he's going to rely on getting a shot on that 3 ball, and I don't think that's going to get caromed correctly. It's actually going to get knocked to the rail.
He's going to rely on getting a shot out of the broken balls since there's no safety valve here, and maybe he will and maybe he won't. I'm not sure he did.
He got a shot on the 10 and the side.
Well, and
He's gonna be
there's
able to
one-
move
There's
the
one.
8 ball
There's
out
one
after
ball
this.
loose, and he can continue. But coming off a rail from behind the stack is fraught with peril.
Well, you can see what I mean. Just nudge the 8 ball a hair, get
Yeah,
another ball
there you
out
go.
there.
Well, but he hit it too hard
I think he
and
didn't
too
hit
quick
it.
and too quickly.
He did something about the right line. He caught
Yeah,
a point coming in.
it was a bad miss, but he hit it like he was double parked, and pressure shots will do that to you in a tournament format or for money.
They made 3 balls.
Let's see you take off the up-table ball early this time, John. There we
There
go.
you go.
All right. Johnny Archer learns.
I don't see.
Well, I think the 3 ball goes as well as the 8 or the 10. He's got 3 break shots.
I was just looking to see if there's a dead ball here, but I don't see so. So I think he's going to use the 8 to run into the 4 here. How did they work? 3 ball, hello.
3 ball, hello, and a 10 in the side.
I think he's going to go
Or
right
12
up
in the
his right.
side it would be.
I think that's the 10. 12's down here.
12's down here?
Yeah.
Getting hard to tell blue from purple.
When it's green from orange, then we'll know there's
Yeah,
trouble.
then I can, that contrast I can detect. In fact, it was pointed out to me long ago that it's considered a courtesy in one pocket to rack the 8-ball right behind the 1. Because on the break you're trying to split the first 2 balls and you can't ask for a better color contrast than yellow and black.
I always had the guys that put the 2, 4, 8, 6 up front.
In one pocket? That's a strange superstition.
Well,
But whatever
look
you
at the
like.
contrast there.
I'll rack the balls for you any way you like, but in one pocket, that's really exotic.
They don't want you to distinguish any delineation. They want no delineation between the first and second ball. So you get to
Okay.
2, 6, 4, 8. Some pattern of that.
Straight in, less than optimal. Maybe he has 2 degrees of angle to work with here. If he does, he'll utilize it. It sure looks straight to me.
I think he's got a little bit of an angle.
He did.
He's using that 9-ball stroke to push that ball around the table right now. Looks like he's going to settle in on that 4 of the 5 in the next shot here.
Well, he's got to decide between them, and 4 has a nice key ball. Go with it. 5 does not. I think he's going to go 13, 5, 12.
Exactly. I agree.
The last 4 balls were ideally played. Maybe Johnny is finding a groove here.
He made that about as simple.
Yeah, he didn't make any mistakes this rack as opposed to the first 30 balls we saw him drop. That was nicely done.
I agree.
So we're at 65 to 47, is it?
I think it's 44.
Oh, he made. Oh, that's
Johnny
right.
would get
Charlie.
11.
Charlie made 3 balls that rack. That's right. 68 to 44 then.
We'll see if Dennis Walsh concurs. Look at that.
Look at that. Remind our viewers we don't have to keep track of other scores for you because this is the only game being played now. 4 matches today to conclude the tournament. Finals tonight at a nice hour. No 5 a.m. finishes for this tournament.
Well, it depends on.
Yeah, just how fast or slow the players play. I'm sure they'll go to the clock long before then. And Bobby Hunter won this title 19 years ago at 5 in the morning in Dayton, was it? Dayton or Toledo?
We were in Toledo.
Toledo. Maybe 6 people watched him win.
There was about, about 40 guys.
That many.
40 people that left, or were left at the end.
I don't think you should decide a world championship at 5 in the morning, especially when your game is looking for image. I mean, 5 in the morning, playing pool at 5 in the morning is certainly not unknown, but I don't think championship tournaments should be played then.
You hitting this shot with high, George?
High right, I believe.
Zoinks.
There you go.
There it goes.
And, he got a dead 311 if he can trigger it, but he's got the 2 ball in the open too.
The 9 looks like it could be a pretty darn good break shot if he gets.
If he'd need a straight shot on the 2 to get there, or come around to the other side of it if he can avoid the 8 ball.
Get on the 8, come in between the 9-8 slide. You got the 8-13 to work to go up table.
Yeah, soft left-hand draw here.
I might even hit this with just a plain draw, just to make sure that I get a nice angle.
Yeah, he ran into the 8 ball.
That was.
Folks, do not run into balls. I know you're seeing champions do it. That does not make it right.
It's like going out and getting a Lexus car and deciding to go into the smash up derby there.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't hit
Demolition
it.
derby.
Demolition derby, yeah.
Johnny takes his safety. He really didn't have much choice.
Wow.
Charlie has a good one-pocket safety here off the left-hand side of the stack and back into it.
Give Johnny 2 points there. We have a lot of folks tuning in at this moment. Just wanted to reintroduce ourselves. I'm J.R. Calvert with Inside Pool.
George Fells here.
With
Billiards Digest.
Yay.
Two best magazines in the business. All we want is to bring more good pool to more people. And
That's it.
because our world is so small, we really have to get along. There's no point in feuding.
Not at all.
Neither of us has anything the other wants anyhow. Except maybe for me. All right. What the hell? What's he doing here?
He's trying to play it safe, but that 8-ball's...
I think, well, the shot I like best is the one I announced first. Feather the 6 and bring the cue ball right back in, stuck on the 1 and 5.
I might feather the 6 and see if there's a way to get back in there, and if not, I'm going to leave him stuck to the rail if he's going to try that 3-11-8.
He's gonna move the 3 and 11 and stick the cue ball to the remaining cluster when he executes his shot. I think it's going to be a while before we see a cue ball do anything here.
Now he can nick the 3, mess up that 3-8, and get back to where his right on the other side of the side pocket.
He's just going to try and stick the cue ball in the cluster hidden from everything.
Let's see if it works. It doesn't always work. Farm for sale, 2 horses and a tractor.
Can he see the 11
Oh,
ball?
you can see the 11.
Oh, that was awful.
Well, that's what I mean.
Well,
A 64th of an inch is a determination between...
I might find a better adjective, but I was not, let's say I was not impressed.
At least it had 2 syllables.
Yeah, there's that. These players are both dawdlers. I mean, even if they both hit their stride, play will only pick up slightly. Not sure what the applause was for there, but I guess it can't hurt. The shot was elementary.
They're trying to get this set moving along.
Yeah,
this match.
they folks want to see some balls run here.
Well, I think that, again, he has to move towards the 9. And
Yeah, he does.
depending on what side of the 9 and what pocket he gets to. I'm shooting a 3-11 here, of course. And
Speed of play is one factor that makes straight pool largely untelevisable. I mean, the producers can always encourage the players to speed up, and that will help to some degree, but still defensive battles are going to come up. And except to knowledgeable pool fans, they are simply not that appealing to watch. Johnny bumps some more balls with no need. 13 and 15 are now worthless unless one of them is moved. He can play position on the 9 off the 3 to break the cluster up top, but now the 13 and the 15 will have to be dealt with too. Since we were talking about championship tournaments, as long as we have a lull here, I would like to say that I just cannot endorse the notion of a world champion without recognition. It's kind of like the tree in the forest, and I think the sanctioning body should take a more realistic look at the kind of money that can be raised for a tournament like this versus the kind of money they think should be. This is not the continent of Asia. Pool in all forms is struggling here, and while money comes and goes, it's the game that must endure. The game is the important thing, and I think the WPA might want to reconsider their standards, particularly when I am unaware of what it is they accomplish for pool. Now, the fact that I'm unaware doesn't diminish or demean their accomplishments at all. I simply don't know. The one person I do know in that organization quit because she didn't think they were doing enough, if anything, for the game, and that's really my only knowledge of the WPA. But for them to withhold sanctioning the day before the tournament is to begin just doesn't seem like fair play to me. I suppose they could say, well, we were waiting to see if they got any extra money, but they don't need any extra money. We have a fine tournament with a stellar field, a good prize fund, and its winner should be the world champion. That's all I want to say. It's not a soapbox. We're trying to bring you a good pool match, and we'll see if we can get our competitors to go along with us.
There we go. Well said.
Here comes our first look at a Q extender.
And it is a very masculine color. You
Oh,
can
yeah,
tell
no,
that it's
that's a
owned
nice
by-
one. It looks like it was made out of Coco Bolo.
I believe it's is that a fuchsia or a hot pink?
Oh, don't you do it.
Oh, he
Why
is.
not? You did. You know, the cue ball listened to him. Nice to have the kind of technique that makes the ball listen when you talk to it. I'd have been a world champion by now if it listened to me, along with about 500,000 other guys. Did not choose a good break shot and probably deserved a scratch in the upper right-hand corner, but he got away with it. We can't thank our sponsors enough, and especially Dr. Michael Fedek, whose generosity defies description. There would not have been this tournament in any of the preceding years without his help.
A truly great thing what he's done for.
It really is. Of course, we want to credit Tony Robles for knowing people who have money. But just knowing them doesn't do it. You have to persuade them too, and I can't think of a better ambassador for that than Tony Robles. Would like to see him go a little further in these tournaments, except as fine a player as he is, he seems to lack that killer instinct. He doesn't finish. He goes to the third or fourth round just because he's one of the better players in the field, but he hasn't gotten the job done. I'd like to see him get to the Final Four. So would most of our audience. There's just nobody who doesn't like Tony Robles, like Sarah Lee.
Looks as if Johnny's going to use the 5 to take care of the 13.
He should be thinking about saving the 5.
I was thinking that, you know, he would be using the 13 to reposition the 1 into a break shot.
Maybe. And have the 6 as a safety valve. That's
Right.
a possibility. So
Come
then,
down and get the 9 off the 5 and get this, you know,
Yeah,
9, 10, 12 off the bottom.
that makes sense. That makes sense. It's waiting a little late till a little late in the rack to be manufacturing shots, but that's the way the rack turned out for him. These guys are going to go on the clock pretty soon, I think.
Well, we're getting
But before this match is over, I think it will go on the clock. It's almost foreseeable given the normal playing pace of each of these players.
Well, we're coming up on the hour and 30-minute mark.
And we're a third of the way through the match.
It's a good way to put it. The match could conceivably go 199 to 200. And
Let's hope it doesn't.
what do you say en route for the person who has the most?
I don't want to see anybody lose by one ball.
Oh, okay.
And besides, look how long 399 points of pool would take us.
Johnny had a little fun with somebody's cell phone going off, and
All cell phones vibrate or stun. Okay, but not on, please. Thank you.
The crowd has been remonstrated for leaving their cell phones on, as they should be. Pool crowds are particularly knowledgeable sports fans, and it's just a total breach of etiquette to bring a cell phone in active. Games should be played in library silence. Not that I have much notion of what goes on in libraries these days.
I was going to say.
That was not a good shot. Bumped a ball he didn't have to bump. Please learn this, viewers. We hate to keep coming back to the same points. They keep making the same mistakes.
They sure do. I kind of like a little bit of music in the background. It doesn't
Well,
have
it creates a pool room ambience, but this is a tournament in a hotel. I don't. I know a lot of tournaments do, particularly the women's tournaments. The music goes nonstop. I just don't. I can't endorse it. I like music. I like music very much, but I don't think I want to hear it in conjunction with this. I don't like it when they play the jukebox in the room I play in at home. Even if I like the songs that are being played, I'd rather wait until I'm in the car with my radio on.
I guess I can see that. I think there's two schools of thought there, and the reason I like having music is sometimes it helps me keep a rhythm, and at the same time, I can concentrate and get that music to go away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear it if I'm...
In that case, why play it?
But if it's my opponent's shot...
Ah. I experimented playing with headsets on. And as I say again, I love music, but it wasn't a big help to me. This is far from an optimal break shot that Johnny left himself here.
I think we're going to be sitting on...
That was what? Yeah? That can't be right.
That can't be right. I don't know what it is.
It's got to add up to 112.
Well, it's not even done yet.
Oh, okay.
And
Then it should add up to 126.
There's something...
Dennis has it at 68.44.
And Johnny needs another 12 balls on there, right?
Then why hasn't Dennis added them?
Because I think he is... Did I do that right, George?
No, 68.44 is what Dennis has.
That doesn't seem right.
Johnny just experienced exactly the problem that exists with the break shot he played. If you don't catch a corner ball,
I told you it was 68-58.
okay, well, Dennis hasn't added the last rack yet.
I think we should go out and fire Dennis.
Yeah,
I'm
all right.
sorry.
Dennis, go home.
We're going to have to let you go home for a while. Take the rest of the day.
This is what happens when you don't catch the corner ball from behind the stack. You're going into a row of balls 5 balls wide, and there are 9 more balls ahead of those 5, and your cue ball just doesn't have a chance to breathe air. There's nothing going on here.
Well, I nick the side of the 6 or go off the side of the 12.
The bottom of the end rail is the best you can hope for. Leave him in a place where you snooker him on both the 5 and 12 balls so he has nothing, and take your seat.
Exactly. Looks like
one of the problems with the break shot he played was that he did not allow himself sufficient space from the rail to spin the cue ball, which the angle of the shot mandated. Got to catch the corner ball to get free.
Looks like Dennis has been fired. He's getting up and
well, he got the last rack on, but they fired him anyway. Sorry, Dennis, you were just too slow to record those last 14 balls. Johnny took a foul.
Johnny took a foul, which is probably not a bad shot.
Not too bad, but he's going to get the favor returned to him.
I'm sure
he
is.
And when you get in a battle like this, we will say again, make sure your opponent takes 2 scratches with you, so that when you escape your trap, he is left with his. Even if you take a flyer and miss, you can still get lucky and leave him safe. If you're going to take intentional fouls, make sure your opponent goes to the limit with you. Charlie elects not to play safe, and he leaves an open ball.
He leaves an open ball for sure.
He could have taken a foul. I don't. Did we take Johnny Archer's point off?
Yeah, let's take Johnny's point off here.
Okay, so
Just so
he needs
we're-
143 instead of 142. I'm sure he'll surmount that. Help me, help me. Oh, a two-rail bank for Johnny Archer. But he gets the point anyhow.
Well, those players know that with new cloth they can slide that ball in, and he hit that pocket speed.
He had a pocket speed. He hit the rail a good diamond and a half out. But pocket speed is everything. When I was looking around, I originally wanted to do my pool books with a co-author, and I considered Boston Shorty Johnson, and the reason I didn't go ahead with him was that he could not articulate to me what pocket speed was. He dribbled a ball in like you just saw Johnny do, and he pointed at it and he said, "That's stroke. Guys think it's lucky, but it's stroke. I can't explain it to you." And I said, "Well, then I guess I don't want you to read my book, write my book then."
A little grooming going on there.
Yeah, Johnny's well known for that. The table will be pristine at all times. Not sure what he's looking at here. He's got to shoot the 11 ball now.
And he's got to hit it.
He'll drill this.
He's gonna try and split that 2-3-4 here, about 100 mile an hour.
Exactly as called. And he got all the balls loose.
He's manufactured a break shot or two.
Mm-hmm.
No
4,
real-
6, 10. He got all 10 balls in the clear.
Yeah, the 1-8 is the only real issue.
Well, 2 balls on the rail, but they're easily enough. It's easy enough to get in between them or move one.
A lot of technique there because now he could probably use the 13 to come to the rail and move that one up towards the side while getting position on the 8.
But
And if he's smart, he does it right here.
I want to remind our viewers that all rolls, good or bad, can be traced back to the speed of the cue ball. Gene Nagy used to say, you hit them at the right speed, you get the rolls. And that's essentially correct. It's the only ball over which you have any control at all, and you only have partial control over it. And that makes sense.
Sure does. Well, Johnny's going to try and take care of the 10-3 after this 8.
8, 10, 3, and then go up above the 15 and 4. I think he'll probably save the 4, 1, and 10 for the last 3 balls.
I believe you're correct. The 1 is the perfect key ball now.
Yeah, ideal. Right off the perfect for given where the 4 lies.
Now he's going to make this and probably go right to the rail.
Either to the rail or he may make the mistake of going into the 2.
Oh, I don't want to see that. What I would
No.
like to see is him getting position on the 4 ball after this. He doesn't want to hit it hard enough to go for the 15-2. He wants to stay. He wants to come off the rail about a foot.
The shot is not quite on. I don't know that it takes this kind of perusal. He does need to overcut the first ball slightly. Three rails for position. I don't care for that, but it'll work out. Classically, that should have been played for 1 rail position with inside English.
Sure. That's all right.
Well, we forgive it, sure.
As long as he decides that he's, gonna run like 100.
I'm a liberal by definition. There's hardly anything I won't forgive. Here goes a nice key ball. I forgive this too.
I'll forgive that. Notice how forgiving they
Yeah,
are.
well,
I'm just hoping the fans at home are as forgiving.
it'd be nice to think that. 10 ball and the 15 both lie a little low as break shots go, but they're viable.
I believe he's looking at keeping the 15 and the 2.
Well, it's once again the lesson of don't leave 2 break shots.
Here
When he
it
makes
comes.
this, he will have left 3.
Yeah. Little draw off the 2. Get parallel with the 15.
All this made possible by an inexplicably bad safety from Charlie Williams. Had his opponent on a foul and turned the rack over to him.
Is that a ref, Bruce Butler?
I wasn't even aware the game was being refereed. I thought the players were racking their own balls up till
I
now.
believe that it was until just right
This
now.
is the only tournament we know of that doesn't provide a referee until the semifinals. Some televised matches have been refereed. Carl Kantrowitz has called a couple games. I'm not sure under what conditions he was pressed into service, but he has called some non-televised games too. I don't know if the players requested a referee or the tournament officials decided they needed one. I really don't.
I think for the one that I know for sure was when we had Ray Martin, and who was he playing?
Well, Max on camera.
Max on camera.
Yeah.
And we went out and we did it old school way where he'd call every ball for them.
Mm-hmm.
Not real sure. And the shot clock. You see our shot clock keeper. Which
They put him on the clock? I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, I believe that that's it. In his hand is a shot clock. And that one's going to poke its head out so that he can play off the 7.
Yeah. Have to use some fairly extreme inside English to get a good angle on the 1. The mistake would be to try and break them with this ball. The first balls contacted are too far from the stack. What did I say? Well, he got away with it. Got away with it. Moved the 1 slightly enough that it acted as a safety valve. If he didn't have the 1, look where he'd be.
Exactly.
But 1 is all it takes. Keep a player going.
I think the shot clock has Johnny already playing much faster.
Well, good.
I think that's why we're seeing this.
That's to everybody's benefit, including his.
I think both players will play better on the shot clock. Now, do you follow this 10 and run into the top of the 12?
I play the 5 and stop for the 8 myself.
Okay. I like that shot. Much, much better.
And Johnny liked it too.
Notice he's feeling the shot clock.
Yep.
That's exactly.
It'll
what's
make for better pool for our viewers and generally.
Yeah, I believe so.
We had a player in Chicago who gave up the game after he was put on a shot clock. The game was billiards, but he was equally slow at pool when he played pool. He gave up pool because he hurt his back on the job and couldn't bend low enough, so he took up billiards. 135-point match, took 5 hours and cost his opponent a chance to catch a plane. So they brought out a chess clock and said, you have to shoot within 60 seconds, Mike. And after about 4 or 5 innings, I can't play this way. He never played tournament billiards again. Used to take him 15 minutes to run a rack of balls. And then he'd come over to you in the chair and explain his sequence to you while the balls were being re-racked. Little wonder that he never lost a game in 2 years. Players couldn't handle the combination of his torpor and his lectures. And Johnny finally went off after an up-table ball without leaving it. The 3 is out if he wants to save that. 12 ball's a little better. I like break shots with a little distance from the stack.
I do too. Johnny may be looking to get below this 3 and roll it in the side and take the cue ball up above.
A better shot would be to play for the 3 in the corner and send the cue ball over one rail. Well, he's going to save
Oh,
the
I
3,
agree.
so that was not a particularly good shot no matter which of these balls he wants. Now he has to take the 3 and play a pretty precise 2-rail position, or shoot this and draw clear back up the table again. He's pretty straight on this 12. Is that the 12? He's got a little angle to work with. Well, he used draw. He used draw. Not bad, and he's right back in the match.
I think he has himself a 17-point lead.
Well, from 56 down 0-56, this is not a bad place to be. He's outscored Charlie Williams 85-12 since. Actually, didn't Charlie's lead go to 59 before he left the table? It was 4 racks or 4 racks plus. The referee put on the shot clock there. Very good. The audience applauds. Referees requesting an extension for racking. Good sport. That was fun. And he's gonna have to hammer this withdraw here to get the cue ball back.
Mash it.
Nicely done.
Nice. Got the 10 ball, got the 4.
3, 6, 9 balls came out on a draw break shot, and it looks like he's got a dead 6 ball for a bonus. You get rewards and punishments from straight pool.
I think the 6 is going to be a little high, but
Maybe he doesn't really need it, but he
yeah.
probably deserves it for breaking the balls optimally. 10's got to come off the table early here because it blocks the 5.
And that's why I was thinking it might be a good shot, but he wants to relocate a couple of those balls. Those 3 that were on the bottom, though, they'd be out.
I didn't care for what he just did.
I don't care what I would have came up into them. I wouldn't have gone across them like that. That was just a recipe for disaster. Now the 1-7 looks like it has a chance at some point to be playable. Not much.
Yeah, it looks like it can be thrown. See, now Johnny's taking his cue ball away from the object balls, and generally you want to move towards the balls.
John loves it up there.
I just said, I love it up here. If you're playing this game correctly, the top half of the table doesn't exist. Oh! That's
Well.
it. That's it. Distance is no great ally unless you need to do something with the cue ball. He nonchalanted that ball a little bit. I think Charlie has a shot at the 12 ball here, which he could use to open up those 6 balls clustered. He's going for the 13 first and shoot the 12 into the 10 from the other side. That's okay too. Shot's unmissable and most likely leave the 12 ball at the lip of the pocket unless
No,
it
he's
follows the
gonna break
10
this
in.
ball.
Well, but the 12 came away from the pocket. If you use a little less speed, the first ball you contact becomes your insurance ball.
I think he was looking at that being a free break shot.
Could be. Even when you have a free break shot, you're better off not treating them as free. Play them precisely. Game will pay you back soon enough.
think the 8 is going to be the ball that he's going to have to, you know, the 1-8 on the side is going to be the one that he's going to have to do something.
Depends on whether the 8 comes by the 1 or not. We really can't tell from here. It's very close. If not, then obviously you're right. The balls need to, one of those balls has to go.
The 8 may go by. We're probably going to find out here in a second. And when I say a second, I see it being 2 shots away.
That could be 10 minutes.
I was just
The
gonna
way
say,
we're going,
wait a minute. We've got a guy in a corner on a shot clock here, or with a shot clock.
Well, Charlie did a nice manufacturing job there. Drove the 12 ball maybe 4 inches too far, or farther than he would have liked. He can go to the 8 ball off the 6 right now if he chooses. He doesn't choose.
I think he's looking at the 7, and he sees no other ball at this point.
Well, you want to avoid tunnel vision when you come to play pool.
I
You have
guess
to be prepared to change your plan. That was nicely done.
Yeah. I think part of his plan here is just to be making balls. It looks like he's eyeing up his break ball.
If you could take all the other balls off the table, the cue ball and the 8 ball would be attractive right now, but it's a very narrow window for position on that 8, that high and that close to the center of the table. For viewers who don't know, Charlie's college education was 2 years at Old Dominion and in Norfolk, Virginia, and once you get past their women's basketball program and Nancy Lieberman, I imagine he's that school's second claim to fame. Correct shot, a little more distance than would be ideal. And he has no picnic going from the 1 to the 5 or the 8 to the 5, whichever he chooses. 5 ball is almost a better shot here. Slightly more difficult. No problem to shot makers at this level, but the 5 will get him back in line on the 1 and 8 balls. The 1 will not get him in line on the 5.
That's a good point. I think he's going to shoot at the 8. It will go by the 1. Go over and look at the 5 ball now.
Yeah. And he has to come back across the table again for the 1. It would have been easier to shoot the 5 first, and then you have the 3 balls on the same side of the table. But you know, maybe he likes a challenge.
Straight pull through a 9-ball player's eyes.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it is. On diamond tables, this last sequence he played would be a real daunting challenge with the lip of the pocket set back that far. It is not easy to move the ball across the table on rail shots on a diamond table, which is why they are the table of choice for most tournaments. There's nothing, not to diminish the quality of all of them. They're fine tables. Just pointing out a difference in table construction that makes the game a little more difficult to play. That worked out well. We'll see how quickly the referee can get the balls together this time. Maybe they won't have to call him for the clock. Looks like he's still smiling about that one. So it looks like 102 for Johnny Archer.
It's right at this point here, I believe that the actual score is 88.
Oh, he got
to
to,
70. But I don't think they've corrected the score. I'm going with
88 to 79 can't be the score. Yes, it can. Yeah, and 1 ball less than 12 racks. That would be right.
Yep.
Okay. Now, if he overhits this shot, there is a danger of a forced foul into the right-hand corner pocket. So, cue ball speed is everything here.
They're trying to figure out the score right now.
They have a scorekeeper. They shouldn't even worry about the score. Leave it to the scorekeeper. That's why he's there.
Well, they've started to agree with us.
Good. It takes time, but progress has finally been acknowledged.
People, yeah, they'll eventually figure out that we're right.
Yeah. Years from now, they'll say we should have listened. All right. We'll see what speed Charlie chooses. The other danger in overhitting this ball is that you get only a glancing effect of the cue ball on the rack.
That's
So we'll see.
well, that's the conundrum. Right
That's the way the shot should be played.
That's it right there.
And look at the reward he got. That 15-8 is as dead as Leonard Skinnerd.
I think
13-7's pretty fertile too. If he wanted to, he could play the 10, get position on the 8, and ignore the combination shots. But shots like the 15-8 are a gift from God. You can't miss them, and you get to break the balls too.
10 seconds. First extension.
Charlie Williams has taken the first of his allowed 30-second extensions in time. Somewhat redundant there. 30 seconds aren't anything but time. Happens even to the best of us, I guess. Another possibility is he plays the 10 with right-hand draw and comes straight across to the side rail without going to the bottom rail. Get position on, break shot position on the 8. Yeah, this is okay too. Not crazy about this. Unless he plans to bump softly into the 7.
well struck.
Well struck, and he's lucky that the cue ball did not disturb the 13-7. Even though he's looking at the 115, the 13-7 is still there for him. Going to take a look at that now.
15.
He's going to play the 115. Eventually.
10 seconds.
That's the position he should have been playing for all along.
Well, this
Oh.
one here is going to let that cue ball rattle around up through the 1.
I would pinch
12, 15.
draw this so you go from the 8 to the 3.
There you go.
That's okay too.
Yeah, it just goes right up that line there.
Now he's got the 14-5 once the 1 is gone. It's been a fortuitous rack. He's been offered a number of attractive combination shots.
Sure he has.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remember that the seating is VIP and general. If you have VIP seats, sit in the VIP area. If you have general seating, please sit in the general, not the VIP seats. Thank you.
He's even got a pretty fertile 4-12 combination if he wants one in there. We'll see what he does with this hanger. And remember, hangers, as easy as they are to pocket, are not easy to play position from.
He may get on the other side of this.
This ball isn't
7-13.
This ball isn't quite deep enough in the pocket to cause him any real problems, but
10 seconds.
not as easy as you think. And once again, Charlie Williams goes to the acceptable limit of time. Whatever he had in mind there, this couldn't have been it.
If it was, we have to re-explain the rules.
Really. I suppose he was playing for the 12, but look how much he missed it by. I mean, I guess he thinks the 7 goes by the 13.
I'm going to go with him on that. It goes by the 13. He's got a better view than we do.
Yeah, by far.
And I think he's
Yeah,
going to run his cue ball right into the
Better,
bottom.
better eyes, too. If you want to learn Charlie Williams' Korean name, read the marvelous David Macomber book, Playing Off the Rail, and you'll find it there. Not that I can imagine why you'd want to know that, but that's where it is. He does have one. His family name is Park. I understand there are only 13 surnames in the Korean lexicon.
Oh, really?
That's what I was told, yeah. The most common is Kim. That's like Smith or Jones or Williams here. When Korea had a president, Park, he actually banned pool in Korea. He had a son who went to college here. The son was beaten up in a pool room, and President Park concluded the game simply attracts the lowest that mankind has to offer, and I don't want it in my country. And then he was reminded that his country was sponsored by servicemen's bases, and servicemen were not interested in playing billiards as Koreans do, so he had to permit some pool tables. But that's how he felt about it. The game has had image problems at least since the Depression. Ten balls out, and Charlie's going to have to use actually some reverse draw would allow him to miss the 10 ball, but just barely. I'm going to go straight back up the table here, just like that.
Just like that.
Right hand draw that time. Brings you back far straighter than outside draw. So it's a close, if not particularly fast-paced match. Even the racking of the balls is deliberate.
Charlie's giving Johnny a bridge lesson?
Whatever
That
they're
looked like it was-
whatever they're discussing, I can't believe Johnny wants to hear it.
Charlie's giving Johnny a lesson.
Yeah, it's a peculiar venue for pool lessons in the middle of a tournament match, but okay. He's here to help.
He's here to help. This is like your gentleman who was the bricklayer.
Yeah, yeah. Explaining his sequences after 15 minutes to run a rack of balls. Well, you want to talk about unbearable. I couldn't get by the 8 there. I had to go around and get the 6 like I give a damn. My buns feel like they've been shot full of Novocaine, and you're telling me how you ran the balls. Hi, Alvin. How you doing?
Mr. Nelson.
This is what happens when you hit your break shots at the wrong speed.
Yeah.
A little softer there would have actually separated more balls. It sounds self-contradictory, but that's the case. He's looking at the 12-1 in desperation, but it isn't there. You can play this ball safe.
10 seconds.
He's already at 10.
It's already at 10 seconds. It's a familiar refrain in this contest. We're going to hear it some more, too.
I don't think that we're... yeah.
Be a stickler, I'd say he's exceeded the 10 seconds.
Well, the way that rule is if Charlie would have got up on that,
He'd have been called for a foul.
he'd have been called for a foul.
As long as he's down, he gets to play through.
Right.
All right, that's an unusual safety he just played. In part because it's returnable, and you don't want to leave your opponent where he can play a safety back at you.
Yeah, Johnny's just going to roll up into the stack here and put the 1 on the bottom rail.
That's all. That's all.
Put the net up.
The best safeties not only leave your opponents shotless, they leave them pressed to return the safety. And that was just too easy. And did he leave the 6 ball there?
Left the 6 ball.
Boy, these players have committed some atrocious blunders for a semifinal match.
I think this would qualify as a quarterfinal.
Quarterfinal match because there's one more match. And Mike Davis gets the winner of this. Mike Davis was marvelous last night in beating Mike Siegel. His only loss of the week, Mike Siegel's, and he was just completely outplayed.
It wasn't even close. It was 200.
It was over. It was over 100 balls. Yeah.
79, I think, is where Siegel got stalled at. And this rack here, is there any dead balls that you see right off the bat?
Nothing.
Nothing. Not as gratuitous as it was, or fortuitous as it was.
No, I see an easy safety off the 11 once he pockets this ball.
Let's see. I was looking at coming down for the 7.
Into the 11. Well, he tried to play it as a break shot, and that was a mistake. There was nothing there for him.
See,
Had he made the shot, he'd be stuck.
Right. I saw the same pattern, but half speed, and then coming down and banking the 7 towards one of the side pocket, the right side pocket, and sticking the rack.
Well,
That's what I saw.
what I saw was playing the ball with soft follow and playing a safety into the 11, or maybe even the corner ball, depending on exactly where the cue ball landed. But he had nothing going for him with that as a break shot.
And meanwhile, Johnny has a 9-15 that are ready to get plucked here.
He got shape on the 9.
He sure did. He got 15 if he wants it right now.
Is there enough space between the 15 and 11 for him to get in and pocket the 15?
Sure there is.
Think so?
Yeah. It's about as close gets, but it's there.
Might even have to play a carom, which would still act as a break shot.
He's looking
Anything
at that 10-5.
the 10, is that the 5-10? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Or 5-12.
5-12. It went. And welcome to my world. And once again, the balls listen. Of course, he gave them a nice, clear, concise command to follow. Without that 5 ball, he would have his hands full. I think he's got half a pocket for the 9 and doesn't need it now.
Well, with the 7 going, he could probably wiggle that 14 or 4 through 13 in. But I agree with this, getting a little bit of spin.
A little bit of space between the balls. It
Yeah.
can't possibly hurt you. It makes the shot a little easier when you come back to it.
Sure.
This is the second time in the match that Charlie Williams has turned over a rack of balls unnecessarily. Last time with a poor safety, and this time with an incredibly poor choice of break shot.
Once his 10 is off the table, he really needs to start, committing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
He should commit to the 12 ball right now and play the combination shot sooner rather than later, that 4-13 over on the other side rail. I think he will. Well, he missed that shot by 2 diamonds. A remarkable miss that time for Johnny Archer, but these players are human, and in 200 points of straight pool, you are very likely to see each competitor have several innings of pure funk. And the winner of a tournament like this is the guy who handles those innings the best.
Sure. I agree. You ever really want to watch how good or poorly a person might play? You want to get your confidence? Watch him run 100 balls, then miss 3 times in a row.
No, it won't be the same player. No, we saw that yesterday with Ray Martin, who had a superb tournament until we got him on camera.
Well, we did have him on camera when he defeated Oliver Orr.
Oh, in the round robin, that's good that the fans got to see him play well. But I was disappointed both for him and for our fans that we couldn't show them what a straight pool master does with the game. So Ray just couldn't find his groove, and it happens. Happens to young players too. I used to call that the struggles and the staggers. Okay, Charlie has left both an up-table ball and a combination shot for his last 3 shots of the sequence. Ideally, you'd like to have those things over with before this.
Let's say the cue ball was in the center of the table. Which shot would you shoot first here, the 4 or the 11?
I'd have shot the 11 long before this.
I would always
It
shoot the
can't do you
11
any
first.
good up there. It can't do you any good. You might as well come off early. It's a lousy key ball. It'll work, but it's just not what you want. You don't want to have to hit a key shot this hard. You'd like a stop shot.
By definition, you want a simple shot where the cue ball doesn't travel.
That's what I just said.
One that's hard
and make the travel cue. Well, you're playing the game harder than it needs to be played. Straight pool is a process of simplification. Reduce the table layout to that which is familiar and simple. Our referee flirts with his time limit again, but at least we know the job's being done right. Last night, Rodney Morris gave Alex Pagulayan a rack about 18 inches to the right of where it should have been to louse up his break shot. Gave the crowd a laugh. Okay, this is not the kind of break shot where you hope to blast the pack into 14 separate counties. This is a finesse shot, which if played ideally will open up maybe half the rack.
Going for it.
That's not sure hit last
Well, he opened up 4 or 5 balls, as I indicated, but he did it in an uncontrolled manner. He's lucky he got away with this attractively. 12 leads him right to the 13 here, if he wants to go that way, or he could play position for the 7.
That 5 might get him. He might get a glance off the 5, go into the 11, and go down table off to the break. He might look at getting up on the 7.
That's what he's going to do.
I think that's better.
Mosconi would agree with that. Cleanly struck. Good by 5. Just desserts. 4 in the 8 ball. Excellent break shots. 2 balls on the side rail to be dealt with. No problems here.
No problems. I might have even at some point there decided to shoot the 9 in the side to start out with, just because it was there and I could see an open division in the table after that.
Well, it's available to either side pocket, and the side pockets are the ones to use in this game.
Well, it looked like I could just do a little stop shot, have a little bit of better angle on the 3, and I wouldn't have to be jacked up on my first shot.
That's rationale enough. And look at Charlie jitterbug between these balls.
Well, it's better than watching him stare at him for
Yeah,
35 more
I
seconds.
suppose, yeah. How much
Given the
interest can
option.
there possibly be in a static ball?
Given the option.
Pretty obvious here that the 10, 4, and 8 are the 3 balls to save. Got a fly in here the size of a robin. And get the last ball below the break balls off the table. This is all right so far.
He wants this 4 ball now.
I don't object to his doing that, but he's going to take off the best of all key balls now.
He certainly has.
I like the 8 as a break shot. I like break shots with some distance from the stack, but the 10 ball was obviously the optimal ball to use. He's going to go 9-10-6.
Yeah. 9-14-6.
9-14-6, is it?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Everything's green up
Yeah,
there.
2 stripes and a solid then. Or as in Britain, 2 reds and a yellow. Did the Hawk's Nest or other famous Pittsburgh rooms ever have a legitimate 1-pocket table with only 2 pockets?
No,
Yeah.
not that I know of.
Yeah, not many players have seen one. We had one in Chicago maybe 50 years ago. But I was once told that a player went to Texas and walked into a pool room that had 8 of those tables and nothing else. That's strange.
That would be strange, wouldn't it?
Well, it doesn't feel like the score is moving much, but it is.
It's
115 to 94 now. Dennis Walsh back in place with the correct numbers.
I guess we rehired him at some point.
No one else would take the job. I've been pressed into service at this tournament to do that, and at Derby City, so it's not as though people were lined up waiting to be tournament officials.
The reward.
Is nil. You're doing something for the game if you consider that a reward, and I suppose I do. But in monetary terms, no.
Well, let's do a risk-reward analysis. Risk is if you get the score wrong.
Everybody will be mad at you, and why did they hire him? Well, I wasn't being paid, so you got what you deserved, you know. I didn't make any mistakes. Actually, I did, but it was soon corrected. Charlie played
Is he
that
gonna
with
get
nice
this?
restraint, but I think it's going to cost him. Unless he
think
can
has
see
it
the
in
12.
corner.
Does he have the 12 in the corner?
I think he does.
That's enough to go forward then. Yep. He shot the shot with nice restraint, and 1 open ball is his reward. 1 is all you need to proceed here. There are other open shots he can play position for. The 5 leads him to a behind the rack break shot. Remember that no American has ever done better than 3rd in this tournament. Max Eberle in the inaugural version. We've also had a woman place 3rd here. The great Jasmine Ocean. I'm disappointed she isn't here for this, but I can understand what travel from Europe must have been like.
10 seconds.
He'd love to be able to get up on the 11 or the 13 here.
Simplest thing to do is just stop for the 13.
He's going to slide. He's going
He's
to
going to play for the 11. All right. That's acceptable too.
I can't tickle this one. I'm looking at it and I don't like it. I have to hit it with a pretty good bit at pace.
I wouldn't hit it any higher than center ball. There's in danger of a forced foul. That's too soft.
That's why I'm saying you have to really get that one.
Clobber it and hope you don't get a forced follow scratch in the left-hand corner.
I mean,
He has a safety available here, which is probably better than he deserves.
that's one where, in my mind, I saw the high Q rebusting the balls 2 or 3 times. You know that action.
Yeah, sure.
You're going that way. There's no way around it.
Oh, he's going to play the 3 off the. He's going to play the 3 off the that stripe, the 12 ball. It looks like, or the 10. No, there's the 10's next to the 3. It looks like he's going to play the 3.
I think Bruce, we're going to see.
Anyway, he wants this shot refereed for some reason.
John, time to do your job.
John, get to work.
I need
Yeah.
a hit. Call.
I think this shot depends on speed. If the carom is attractive to him, and I don't see anything else, I think you need to hit it at the correct speed to score, even if the carom is on. He coaxed the referee out of his torpor to. Oh, this is tournament director.
John Lehman is.
Yes.
I think he's going to declare it froze. I don't like this shot. Let's see if it goes. I don't think it does.
That shows what you know. They didn't get anything loose.
So what was amazing is
Just kidding.
the 10 went in as well.
Yeah.
9 is 1. I'm gonna go for everything.
2-9 is what he has here.
Should go for everything. Not a bad shot to go for.
Now you should play position for the 14 if your cue ball can avoid the 2.
He's going to play.
Oh, the 2 will be moved. He should be playing position for the 14. Hope the 2 doesn't interfere.
Right. Well, he's playing his 10 into the 13 and the rail. See if he can carom it off the 4 ball.
Oh, is that what he was playing? I thought he was looking at the 2-9. Fooled me again.
You know, it's fun. Before the shot, I called the ball and I thought I would never go for it. And I actually went for it.
You know, that's the kind of explanation I'm talking about. Nobody cares why you decided it or how it did. And least of all your opponent.
Wait, he's trying to put us out of a job.
Well, I know, but that's my job. Let me tell the audience what you did.
Charlie, he's going to do everybody's job eventually.
I'm sure. Or ask Cindy too.
Cindy? Well, the day that we put the mic on Cindy, that'll be the day we know what's going to happen to our jobs, right?
We're going to go the way of the pterodactyl.
Way of the dodo.
Some people would say I've already achieved that.
Around the table.
This is no good. Around the table, if your cue ball doesn't run into the 14.
Well, it won't run into the 14, but I can tell you this. He does want to run it short so that he's not shooting from the corner pocket when he makes the 14 to bust out the rest of this rack.
I think he wants the 6
Oh, he's
next,
scratched.
if it's hard enough.
You guys should watch me play 9 ball.
We're seeing some incredibly ragged play here.
Well, I think he's going to go for it. He's going to stroke it full stroke here.
Yeah.
I see balls in every quadrant of the table after this shot.
Oh, there's no question. The speed he wants to pocket this ball, he's going to send, I'd say, at least 3 of the remaining 5 balls out of play.
Bank the 9 off the 7 back in this corner.
Well, at least he played it with restraint.
Well,
Cindy's back with coat and scarf. She knows what she's doing.
we no sooner mention her and she shows up.
Dressed for the occasion, too.
I see it. Tickle the 6.
Too hard.
He hit it too hard. That seems to be the theme this rack.
These
He's just hitting
these
everything.
14 balls have been the embodiment of winning ugly.
Yeah, he's definitely fortunate that he does not get style points here.
He's fortunate that style points are not available because he would not have earned any. This is brutal, and even if he executes this cleanly, the 6 ball's an inferior break shot for so many reasons. Unless he wants to run into it now and reposition it, and he tried.
Had he hit it, he'd have been so far down table.
Really, yeah. Or he wouldn't have had an advantageous shot on the 1,
He wants
even if he got the 6 where he wanted to.
put it right on the rail.
He wants to go in
underneath the sun.
between the rail and the 6, and that's the only place the ball does him any good at all. And without the middle of the pocket to aim at, with the object ball that close to the rail, he's going to have to take something off the cue ball too.
I think he's looking to put the ball
I
at
think
a point where he can go to the rail with the cue after making a 6 and following off into the.
he doesn't really have either one now,
He has a 2-railer.
and that's mediocre. Although Mike Davis made a spectacular 2-rail break shot against Siegel last night.
Oh, when it was 175.
Yeah, he made a ball in an
179.
off-angle side pocket from behind, and he went off 2 rails and caught the corner ball ideally. That's what Charlie would have to do with this.
Was amazing, and it brought the house down.
Yes, it did.
And you know, not that I am blame him whatsoever. I was one of those applauding it.
So was I. So was I. Good.
Truly
A
was
fine
a
shot
great
is a
shot.
fine shot. Whoever makes it. And
Good
ball
looking.
was not positioned for any kind of break shot at all, and he got the one off angle that would work for him.
Here we go.
Could have been forgiven for playing the ball safe. All right, now a better play here would be to play this ball and then play a safety into the 5. That's better than the 2-rail break shot he's going to try.
Exactly. I was just going to say the 5 is your break, is your
Your safety,
shot.
if it lines up with the 15, and if not, you can still use the 3 and get the same effect.
He's stroking.
But he's
his
going
ball
to go
fairly
for this. He's going to
fast,
go
too.
for this.
He's got to dig this ball. Might hit it too hard.
No, he hit it
Hit it.
ideally.
Ideally.
Except 3 balls are supposed to come out, and only 1 did. In a perfect execution of that shot, the 14 and the 11 come out too. The 14 goes up table for a key ball, the 11 comes out for a break ball, and onward you go. Unless he has a 7-ball carom here, I don't see much future in this. Unless he plays it with draw and tries to tickle the 2 top balls.
He's going to go right in between ace and the 10 there. That 1 and the 10, he's going to open them up.
He's going to try and do
He's
that?
going to try and get the 10 and the 11 up table a little bit towards the center of the table.
Without all the cue ball to aim at, too. Not easy.
He hit it.
He didn't make it. He
Much
didn't make it.
scratch.
He missed the shot by close to 2 diamonds.
Let our scorekeepers keep track of this one. This is going to be a funky little.
He doesn't have a lot going for him here. What he has going for him is that his opponent's on a foul. I don't see anything in this stack, and this is not much of a break shot, so I don't know what he's going to do unless he plans to just pocket this ball and play that hanger up table as a break shot. I wouldn't want to see him do that.
He's trying to hit the 3-5.
And he
That's
did.
what he did. He hit the 3-5, not
If
the
he
3
got
or the 5.
if he got the 15, this would be ideal.
I don't think he does.
Oh,
I really, that doesn't look on. He's
evidently
stuffing
not.
up.
He's going to play safe. Or
Stuff him up in there.
he didn't even have to take a foul. Well, now he left that ball dead. There's a 2-rail kick here. If you can get to the cue ball, that's what Charlie's looking at.
That's the first thing Charlie sees. That's amazing that stayed up.
He actually threw it off by the angle, by the hit he got on the first ball. Shot was on to begin with, and he hit the first ball a little bit too thin, threw the second ball towards the rail. Both these players making some heedless mistakes. Looks like Johnny's got a dead 7-ball up table if it comes to that.
He's going to go ahead and shoot it left-handed, he said.
Well, certainly count on him to pocket the ball that way. Johnny and another well-known player, Kim Davenport from Modesto, own a room in Marietta, Georgia, I believe. And according to what I've heard, Kim does most of the running of the room, and Johnny practices straight pull. That at least puts him ahead of Alex Pagulayan, who has virtually no use for the game at all, except for what money he can win at it. I'm sure he never plays it, and I'm sure he never practices.
We did an event in Ontario, Canada. A place called Snookers.
I've heard of that room.
Great room. Great room.
Do you see a lot of lineup pool in Canada?
What kind of?
Lineup pool? There's a player up there named Pierre Morin. Everybody knows him. And the man is considered the world's leading authority on the game of lineup pool. This is the game of straight pool my father was taught way back when. Each player comes to the table with 15 balls on the table. All balls that a player makes are immediately respotted, so you get a straight line behind the stack. And if that had been the championship game in Mosconi's era, there's no counting how many balls he would have run, because the bottom ball in a 15-ball line is a dead carom going in either direction, so you always have something going for you, unless you leave the cue ball in the dead center of the table, and even then you've got a kick. So it's a very, very good practice drill, and one well-known Chicago player, Don the Preacher Feeney, told me that nothing had done as much to improve his finesse draw stroke as playing lineup pool. And it's supposed to be the pool game of choice in Canada when they don't play snooker.
I think it's 9-ball anymore.
No, that's probably true. Probably true.
Well, 8-ball is doing pretty good. CPA, we were doing an event
But
with
there
them.
are some fine players up there. You mentioned Luke Salvis. He's not even the top of the pile.
Lane
Stan
Martin,
Tarangio and John Mora, these guys can all play.
Jason Collette.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Jason Klatt just married Sarah Rousey, I understand.
Excellent.
She's about 3'8". Not that that makes her a bad person. Okay, Johnny can negotiate the 4-3-5 in proper sequence, or he could use the 5 to get on the 3 too. But this is working out better, and this is a much, much better sequence he's played here. Although Charlie should not have missed the kick shot, but the only shot he figured to have coming out of it was the first ball contacted anyhow. Johnny wanted to be straight on this ball, and he's not, and that's a problem. Now he can't play for the 3 in the side or the 5 in the corner, except at very, very slight speed, and hope he doesn't touch either ball. That was subtle, but that's how it's done. Now the 3 goes, and we're only talking about a difference of maybe 1 ball's width from where it was. But now he's got a key shot and break shot where before he didn't have either. And he saves the higher ball for the break shot, which makes sense. Nice sequence that time by Johnny Archer. That's three racks now Charlie Williams has surrendered that he didn't have to. And these things add up. That's 80 balls difference. And Dennis has this at, what, 128, is it?
It is going to be 128 because Charlie has the scratch, and Johnny's going to get the rest of the 14.
107, is it?
I think it's 108.
236, so there's 2 fouls in the game? Yeah, that's about right.
Okay.
All right. Charlie's very lucky to be 20 balls in front, having given away 3 racks.
They're going to go with 106. I'm going to have to put it there.
Wait a minute, another number about to fall. I can see it in his hand. 104 now. It just lost 2 more balls. I don't think that's correct.
I'm pretty sure they're going to go with 106, so I got to change our score to 106 here, folks.
Nicely played.
And Johnny is called the cue ball a dirty dog.
Why? Left him shots. I don't know what there is to cuss about. It's in the dirty dogs are in the eye of the beholder, I suppose.
Exactly. Well, he's got a little stack left in the rack area there. Nothing really extremely enticing there.
That could have been played way better, but he's got the 6.
So I always look at taking that 12 off the table right here. If I accidentally fall straight in line, I reevaluate.
I like to take the ball farthest from the scene off early, too.
Well, it's one of those shots where you got some other balls you have to get out of the way before it becomes a real makeable ball down in this corner. So why
Right.
not just eliminate it by shooting it in the upper corner and getting better on those balls that you were trying to clear anyway?
Well, I agree.
And, you know, a lot of the rules in straight pool, they deal with inconvenience. It's what
Mhm.
you have to do, what you have to do, what you have to do. But keep in mind that there's always convenience that rules.
That's
And
right.
And if there's a shot there, there's times when you should take it.
Oh, no, you have to get inconvenient and you have to get uncomfortable.
Sure.
The game doesn't care about your comfort level.
It has no feelings in that
No,
whatsoever. does it?
or anything else. No matter how much you talk to it in whatever tone,
You can be as nice as you want.
or as
Plain and
nasty,
simple.
it doesn't matter. The game doesn't care.
It's the same game.
You bet. The game is mute. You communicate it with it through its actions and not words.
In the meantime, I've seen people run 100 balls and avoid or break every rule.
Well, yeah, it can be done. It can be done. You're going to see that when Alex comes to play.
Sure. Eight or 11. I like
Yeah,
the 8.
I think he's looking at the 412 or the 415. He is.
He could be.
And now he's decided that that combination shot is indeed viable. Not sure what he wants to leave here. I suppose it'd be the 9. Unless he can drive the 4 out here. No, he didn't. Here's the 12 on the side you were talking about. I'll see that the 412 and is that the 415 and 9 make a nice little triangle to finish with. That shot is about a ball width removed from where he'd really like to be. Like to be one ball width farther up table so he could cut that ball on the side and come back to get the 4.
Exactly.
10 seconds.
Well, I think
He's decided the 12 goes by the 9. He's going to play that.
See, I've always liked going, if he was up a half a ball, 12, 4, 10, slide over for the 9.
Okay.
I can see that.
If he were up half a ball, as
If
it
he was
is,
up half a
he's going to
ball.
have to go to the rail with this 12.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He has to, and I think he has to hit this with a little bit of inside either way. Whether the 10 or the 4 are next.
He was running English, or you wouldn't have gone that far. All right, this becomes modestly problematic where it should have been effortless, but shooters at this level, here goes the 9. I guess he's going to save the 12. I think might have been looking for side pocket position on the strike ball.
Well, I think he wants to make the...
Side pocket is more viable than up table here for that ball because it's a little bit too high to contact the rack cleanly, shooting it into a corner. He's going to try and play position for the side pocket to our left using inside high here. 1, 2, and straighten out, and there we are. Nicely done. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Well, here comes Johnny.
Another leisurely rack. That was relatively well played.
Yeah.
Here comes Johnny, 129 to 120. It's a close match, not a classic one. Peter Burrows of Maryland and some other guy played a match here the other night. Must have taken close to 4 hours. Absolutely brutal. They're running 2s and 3s.
2s and 3s?
2s and 3s. Would have been a nice show in a 3-cushion caroms match, but it's not what you want to see in straight pool. Both players capable of better, of course, but each one dragged the other down.
And that does happen.
In the background there, in the orange shirt, we see Stuart Matana of New York. This is another very generous pool sponsor. He and Randy Goldwater have put on many events at their own expense in New York City. They both love straight pool.
No, he got the 6.
Maybe. He raises his hand exultantly. He's got a shot if he can get to the cue ball. It might take 2 bridges to get to the cue ball cleanly.
Yeah, this is a left-handed shot, so he's going to need 2 bridges, or he's going to need that big, long fingers to get down.
He is pretty rangy. Here he comes up with one knee on the table. Presumably 1 foot on the floor. No buns on the rail.
I'm not even sure Alex could go behind his back on this shot.
The Filipinos would. Bustamante would eat this for breakfast. Oh, behind his back, over a ball, all that stuff. He loves it.
Hanging from a light.
Okay.
You can have that back. I'll take that. I don't really need it, but I'll leave it for you for later.
Looked like he almost took John's head off.
Perhaps he held a grudge. Looks like the 4 ball is going to be what he uses to break that cluster up with. Or, if he prefers, he can play position for the 3 ball here.
Oh, God, that's got to go.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
gonna be
what
perfect.
It's,
it's
and now
gonna be-
he got on the 2 instead. That's all right. He can shoot the 2. He won't hit the 3. He can shoot the 3 if he wants, and he'll have the 2 for a safety valve. Either ball will serve as a safety valve for the other.
Well, I'll be honest.
But if he plays the 2 as a break shot, the 3 won't move here.
Sure.
Oh, that's nice.
Perfect. Got the 3.
You got the 14 for his break shot, or the 4 if he prefers it. This is nice. That was nicely done.
We have the 13 up on the top rail. I'm going to shoot a pattern that lets me take out this 9, and I'm going to go right on down for that 13.
I think the 9 should go first here, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for that is the 5 and the 1 are available to that same pocket, and when you have more than 2 balls available to the same pocket, you usually want the middle balls first. It increases your cue ball options later. Go down table. There we go. John, you're learning. Get that sucker out of there.
He wanted to get 1 extra problem ball out of the way before he went down table, but yeah. I go down table straight to the 13 and use the 8,
Yep.
so that I'm only going 4 feet to
And
get
transition
into
ball, sure. If you go down table, you want something to greet you on the way back. Want 1 rail for position. I think most players would have preferred 2. I know Mike Siegel would. Mike Siegel prefers 2 rail position anytime it's available to him.
that. Sure.
In both games, 9 ball and straight pool. I mentioned Danny Berruti before. He's a chess grandmaster, and I asked him if he thought his chess skills contributed to his remarkable ability to recognize pool patterns. And his response surprised me. He said, "That's a good question, and nobody has ever asked it before." I suppose it does, not because the games are similar, but in terms of that kind of thinking. So, Johnny did not need to move that 3, but it didn't do him any harm.
I think it helped him out.
Possibly. A little better lie here. Stop 3-8-15.
You know, and I can still see the 14 as a break ball and the 15 as a key ball. It looks like he's going over.
He's going 8-3-15. At least that's what he should do.
Well, he's going to take that 4 off now.
And that's the 4, yeah.
Yeah,
The
4,
mistaking for the
3-15.
4-3-15.
Right.
And when you get a side pocket break shot like this, 2 rail position out of the corner frequently works better than 1 rail position off the bottom rail. And we'll see which he chooses.
I don't mind going 2 here.
2, that's what I'd do too.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Right into the angle you want.
He's going to probably go forward and come back out. 'Cause
All he has to do is soft roll this in, or stop.
He's got an angle downward. I think he's going to follow to the rail and come back out to the center of the table.
I'd consider throwing it in a left-hand draw for a stop shot, but this is good too. That rack was well played.
That was a well-played rack. And Johnny's getting into his groove here. I think if I was to sit down and say, hey, how did the shot clock affect everybody?
I'd say it's improved the quality of play, at least on one side.
I think both sides.
Yeah.
Charlie has made some great shots. May have rested a decision or two,
Mm-hmm.
but really hasn't. It hasn't been detrimental. I don't see
No, it didn't hurt him at all.
any harm there, but I definitely see Johnny's game coming together. Johnny's settling in, and I've always liked both these guys' games much better when they flow better at the table and they're getting into a rhythm.
Oh, there's no question about that. Let's show our fans the view from the other end of the table. I want to point somebody out. Okay, now sitting next to Stuart Matana there, on his right, our left, that's everybody's hero, Dr. Michael Fedak. There'd be no tournament without him.
He's right behind Johnny's head.
Right
now.
behind Johnny's head now, but Johnny's head would not be here without Michael Fedak, nor would the rest of Johnny.
Well, Johnny's going to hit center ball, arrow draw, and he missed the ball.
I think he was too concerned with getting the cue ball in the clear, and this is what happens when you split your concentration 3 ways when you should be splitting it 2. If you focus on A, making the ball, and B, getting the cue ball in the clear, you don't have to worry about open shots. They tend to take care of themselves. So worry about the cue ball and the object ball and forget about the stack. You have better luck with those break shots. Shot should not have been missed.
There's the Fine Doctor right in the center of your screen above the Dragon Promotions logo.
And that's a good combination right there. Dragon Promotions could not possibly do this tournament without him, and even with his generosity, this tournament has never made money. There's a typical 9-ball player's shot
Maybe
right there.
Good look at some of the other folks that helped make this possible.
Yeah.
Zolthausen Tables, Andy Cloth, Aramith, Kamui, Predator, Pulling Billiard, some other magazine I never heard of, and
We'll wish them
Amsterdam.
well. We'll wish them well. Straight shot here gets him the 10-ball for a break shot with an easy combination shot for safety, for a safety valve. This is good. He's not going to take advantage of any of that, but he's lucky he drifted to where he gets an easy shot up table.
He'd have liked to caught the 14 on the way in there, but
I think he should have stopped.
yeah.
Shot was certainly available. He can play position for the 10 right now off the 13. I'd be surprised if he didn't. He's looking at shots from up table, but the solution to this rack is right in front of him.
He could go 3 rails here.
Where?
On the 14, around
Three.
table.
Oh,
See it?
I see it, but that's an awfully thin cut shot. Look how easy the 13 up table is. It gets him to the 10 with a 14 for insurance. There's
I
no
agree.
reason not to shoot the 13
But he
ball
keeps looking at the 14 like it's going to be
here.
the shot he's shooting.
He'd prefer to gun the ball. This shot barely looks makeable.
I think he's giving into it, and
Turning the cue ball loose, God, I wouldn't do this on a double dare. But not my
not
choice
a
to
double
make.
dog there.
No, nothing like that. Well, he made it. I'm not sure what advantage he's going to gain out of it, though.
I think he's hit it darn perfect. If he misses this 8, look at this.
Well, now
He
he
made
might.
the 8 dead.
He might have a carom now.
The 8 looks dead. I think it is.
I-
And he's
I-
going to
I
shoot
think
into the rack.
I don't know if it's dead. I think it's makeable with draw to force it through the 11, but I don't know if the carom is dead as it sits. He's going to try and cut it in.
I think he's going to use the carom to give him that speed into the rack.
If the shot lies that way, that's what I'd do too. I think he's going to cut this ball in cleanly. We'll see.
I hit it with a little bit of left or right hand
Yeah, a
English.
little bit of right-hand draw. Yeah, Charlie's going to need this clock here too. What's wrong now? Time out?
Time foul.
Time foul. Aha.
You think I really do?
He could have been called
Now,
for
does
that.
that cost him a ball?
No,
Or is that
just no, just it
relinquish
just
of the
it
table?
he loses his turn. The way this is going, we're likely to run into another one here.
This might be Charlie's master plan here. Have Johnny think that ball goes.
Johnny's not falling for it. So I'm not sure I see the value of that. That's an easy safety to return.
Well, I think what Johnny was thinking is if Charlie's going to shoot that ball, let him go ahead and take that gamble because he doesn't think it goes.
I honestly don't know if a time foul counts against 3 fouls in a row.
I don't know either. But he tried to see if Charlie wanted to shoot that flyer, and he didn't want to
Johnny
do it.
wasn't having any. That's a nice hit.
Well, if there's any doubt about it going now, you'll find
We'll
out.
find out.
I'll shoot the 8.
He's called the 8. There's a real blood test here from the dead end rail.
Who's Max?
These were a specialty of the house. Yeah, as long as we're waiting for Johnny to choose a shot here, I think playing vests are a great idea. But as long as I've been seeing Johnny Archer play, he has a terrible problem with shirt tails. And if you're going to wear a vest, you might as well keep your shirt tails neat. And he played the carom, so
He sure did.
Charlie Williams could have played the same thing. A little tougher from close to it, but
Johnny said he's just as surprised as we are. Well, I don't think the 2-7 works for me.
no, I
don't-
think you come up and bump one ball or the other.
You bump it right now. You can
Yeah.
run into the the 1 ball and you still
Come
have
up,
the
come up
13.
between the 1 and 7 if you like.
Sure. He's going to shoot the 13 now and maybe come straight up into them.
He'll use the 10.
Now this one here, you hit the side of the 7 and take your cue back towards the 1, and
Right.
you've got the 2. Don't do this.
Don't do this.
Look at he's just created
There's,
another
2
problem.
balls on the rail now.
He's got a thin cut on the 15.
We can't expect the players to think as we do. And who's to say that we're right and they're wrong?
The 5 is a good break shot, but I think he's going to start touching it too many times. He's
Now
just
we
gonna
got
put
3.
all of
Now
his
we got- yeah,
balls
let's
over.
put them all over there.
It's a good start.
Make it look like a position drill.
I used to do that drill. Put 9 balls on the rail, or on the diamond.
On the diamonds and see if you could.
You had to run them out.
That's a good drill. I kind of like Jim Rimpey's drill from hell. Throw 15 balls out on the table and you can't send the cue ball to a rail. And he's more strict than that with it. He says, when he teaches that drill, he says, I don't want you to play or watch any other form of pool for the next 2 weeks. This drill for 2 hours a day and nothing else. And at the end of 2 weeks, you will have jumped at least 1 plateau. All right. 9 has to come off the rail now.
Well, he gets to shoot the 11 here and not the key ball that I thought he was going to have to shoot. I saved that 7-10. 5.
Danny DiLiberto would call the 11 an ideal key ball and play 2-rail position going around the 5. Johnny doesn't know that. And then if you get 2 straight in on it, you just shoot it straight in and take cue ball in hand behind the string. But this will work. You roll up for the 7.
I think
May have to
Johnny's
go to
gonna
the end rail and
He's going
back.
to go down to the end rail.
No,
No.
wrong.
Wrong.
Good angle on the 7.
Johnny once again reminds us why we sit in the commentary booth and he shoots pool.
He is the astronaut and we are but the astrologers. This ran began with a shot that Charlie Williams could have shot. Passed on, gave it to his opponent. That's 4 wrecks he's surrendered now, and yet the game is still close.
I'm going to have to rely on Dennis
All right.
on this scorekeeping here, and I think we've got 128 to 45 is what they're saying it's going to be.
128. Okay, so the
Well-
time foul did cost him a ball. 128 to 145. Well, he doesn't deserve to be in the lead. He's given up 50 balls that he didn't have to.
They're saying 130, I think, is what it's going to be.
131 to 145.
All right. Let's kind of get
It's
out of Charlie's head
exactly
here.
1 rack lead.
Charlie's waiting on them. We're waiting on Charlie. And in the end,
Life is but a waiting process.
good look at all the sponsors, the gallery.
Such as it is. Oh boy. Oh, look at the 11-6. Is that the 11-6?
Yeah, and it's not wired.
It's not wired, and he's got that 10 ball, I guess it is, in the side. That's no bargain either. He deserved better. He hit the break shot well.
The 213, 8,
Well, 4-ball
Not really
combinations
on.
are not really what you want to be looking for.
but
It may come down. May come down to that.
Let's see what we see here, George. I think Johnny's going to be shooting the 11.
It's impossible to tell from what he's doing now. Yeah, well, I guess so. 11 in the corner, I guess. This is joyless. He made it. Oh, rolled out. I think he hit the ball well enough to make it. It rolled off a bit on him. Players have been complaining about bad rolls. I thought he made it when he hit it.
That'll put Johnny Archer at 146.
All right, well, it's still a close match.
Come on.
10 seconds.
Well, this will let him focus his attention on the 4.
Well, he doesn't want use the 4 as a combination. It's frozen and the intended ball is not. So taking the up table ball out of there is not a bad idea. You play the 14 and clear that pocket. Had he played the 4 and the 14, it's possible the 4 would have gone and the 14 not. And I think he chose the right shot.
Well, he needs to clear this lower right-hand pocket of the 8 and 14.
There's no question. He did well there. He even got the 13 as a bonus to push a break ball out.
He's trying to deal with this 15-3 as quickly as possible.
I think I'd shoot the 13 here and get my break shot out where I wanted it. If I get nothing less, I get the 3-8 coming back the other way. He's going to shoot the 15 first. Yeah.
Sure. Come up into him.
He tried
Oh,
to
he-
break him, and he didn't have to. He's got the 8 ball.
8 ball.
Yes, I would think so. There is no need to separate balls that already go.
I'm not sure that they go.
The 13 goes.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. He's sure shooting it like it doesn't go.
He's tried to tickle it twice now. I just don't think that's necessary.
Okay.
I don't think the 7-9 goes, but I know the 13 goes by the 9.
I thought the 7 was a little bit too far in the way there. But, you know, if you take the 9 away from him, you look at it, it's just a 7 and a 13.
That's
Doesn't
the
go.
7 is the ball to be bunted out of there.
Oh,
I didn't like
No, he
I
stuck himself in there.
didn't like that. He got the 3 ball. He got very, very lucky.
He did get lucky.
It's the 3rd time he's tried to hit those balls, and they did not need hitting.
Seven ball.
Yes, and ideally get over for position on the 8. 9 and 13 will be there for you. As called. You want to get the 6 off first? That'd be all right, too. You'd rather shoot your break shot? Go ahead. Guess we can't stop you, but you're wrong. All right.
Every man
Don't
has
worry,
the right
folks.
to be wrong.
Yeah, I'll say, don't worry, folks. The players can't hear me.
I believe that he has to look at this 9 ball here. Draw back. He may tickle the 13 just a hair.
He did. I'd have played the 8 ball first. To avoid doing just that.
I believe that's a 4 ball on the side there.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we see such an archaic bridge head in a tournament like this. That bridge looks like it goes back 50, 60 years. They have made some advances in bridge design. Some of them look absolutely diabolical.
Don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they give you 6 or 12 ridges in which to choose for cue placement and all sorts of things. But that 3-grooved plastic head bridge is almost archaic. I'm surprised they didn't get something a little more modern. Okay. Charlie Williams plays a few balls correctly here and there and succeeds in taking off a rack. So we're 4 balls apart according to Dennis. Which means that one of you had to be wrong last time. They're showing Archer with 148.
No, they got him at 146.
That's a 6?
That's a 6.
Okay.
Even the Bro clock is right twice a day, and now they have Mr. Archer at 145. So the player is always right.
The score keeps wiggling around all the time. Match couldn't be much closer. It's not to say it's a classic match. We've seen some good pool and we've seen some bad pool. We're now at 3 hours, I guess.
Just a mere 3 hours.
A mere 3 hours. And
We're only halfway through,
We're
folks.
3/4, almost 3/4 of the way through.
We will take a dinner break in this match.
I believe the appropriate verb would be slogging toward game ball.
Oh, he's hitting this. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he hit it firm and not breakneck speed. Proper sequence here is 5-9-6. We'll see what he chooses.
Well, now they changed it to 146, so I'm going to change it to 146 just to start out next rack.
Jeez, it's moving all the time. You dasn't look away for a second. Charlie came across table for these balls. Would have been slightly better not to leave himself on the rail, and it would have been a lot better if he'd played the sequence I suggested, but what the hell.
This is a funny little rack unless he can hold this cue ball for the 6.
Yeah, he has to stay below the 6.
He will not recover if he does not hold for the 6.
Soft rolling anything from the rail is not considered easy. And now you can use the 9 to get to the 6 like I suggested originally. Charlie flirting with Father Time again. He'll get past it this time. In Derby City, they don't have any such clock limitations, and Charlie can really be brutal.
Well, it's a good thing that that's a week-long event. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, it takes. They need half of that to play the finals if Charlie gets that far. He caught Germany's Ralph Eckert in the final. Ralph Eckert is a wonderful gentleman and one of the most esteemed teachers in all of Europe. And he actually came over to me.
Can you clean the cue ball, please?
Oh, Charlie wants the cue ball cleaned. Ralph Eckert came over to me and told me what an honor it was for him to have me watch his match in the final. And then when I saw him at this tournament, he apologized to me for what a lousy match it was.
I think it's an honor just to hang out and talk about pool with you.
He's a wonderful gentleman. He's been an author, a video producer, a teacher. He's a fine tournament player. And his contribution has been estimable. All the top German players credit him with being formative in their development, in the development in their games.
Carl had some information. Carl, what was the feedback from the pit?
There was some chalk adhering to the cue ball, and Charlie asked that the cue ball be cleaned. So John, the tournament director, has come out. He's used a special tool to mark the cue ball. He used to use chalk years ago. They don't do that now. They have a special finger.
Is that treated Aramis cloth that he's using to clean the ball with? I have one of those at home. There is such a thing.
That was known as a wash rag.
Okay. Then it's not a treated Aramis cloth.
Technical term.
Okay, wash rag, fine. Treated Aramis cloth has more dignity to it, but if you want it to be a wash rag, that's fine with me. Yeah. How about this 10-3? Pretty close.
It's close enough, but I think that he's going to look at this 11 and tickle him.
He may break with the 12. All it takes is a punch draw stroke.
Sure.
Move the 3 ball out. None of that for Charlie Williams.
Well, I think he's going to break everything up here.
He's going to send 4 balls up table, or at least 3 of the 4 balls up table from this angle.
And the speed he's going to do it at, I think he's going to tie. He's going to be in danger of tying up a ball.
What he wants, ideally, he clips the 3, and then he gets the 15 on the way back for an insurance ball. Well, he hit the 15 first.
Did he tie up?
He sent the 3 ball up table and pushed the 15 higher than you'd like for a break ball, but this is all still viable. He can conquer this.
Yeah, sure.
I'd have preferred to see him go to the other side of the 5 and 14 there. I think he would too.
He's going to look at coming up and dealing with that immediately. Now, I don't know that that's not tied up in a bad way, like really bad.
No, I think the 5 can be made in the side.
Yeah, it's brutally close is the problem to me.
Well, he could have avoided all that by going to the other side of the balls. I think he can still make this.
Oh, I think he can. You're right. I might be seeing phantoms out there. I'm looking for the next problem ball, if you know what I mean.
I'm looking for the next best thing.
he had more of that ball than what I thought.
Okay. By shooting this 9-ball here, at least he relieves himself of the dilemma of leaving 2 break balls. That's about 3 ball widths farther than ideal, but he can still come over to the rail with right hand draw and back out again. Gonna have to clock it though. Exactly as called. Nice shot, Charles.
I think the addition on this one's going to be fairly simple.
Oh yeah.
I think we'll all be in line on this. Charlie should get 14 more.
Charlie goes to 158. 3 racks from home.
Exactly 3 racks.
We advised you of the pitfalls of playing pool at 10 in the morning, and so far the players are making us look very intelligent.
Yeah, they sure are. It's no small feat either, I might add.
No, I should say. It's a Sisyphean chore, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, as saying earlier, 10 a.m. matches normally threw me for a loop, and I would get up
as well they should.
I'd get up at 6 in the morning, daily, do my daily routine, and
Whatever your routine entails, it's probably not pool at 10 in the morning.
it was pool at 11 in the morning.
Well, all right.
And look at
Oh,
this,
boy.
he's missed that shot.
And missed it by an appreciable margin and left a very convenient break shot to go into the stack. It's another rack Charlie Williams surrenders on it unnecessarily, and he's still a rack ahead. He could have been out by now. He's made some very elemental mistakes.
He's given Johnny a perfect
Perfect
second
break shot.
round shot.
You want to hit this with draw so you get one of the. He didn't. You want to hit it with draw so you get either the 5 or the 13 for an insurance ball, but he got away with it. I think the 7-3's got to come off early here.
Well, the 1-3 is actually a pretty darn good combination as well.
The 7-3 lines up for the pocket as is, though. It doesn't really need to be aimed. There we go.
Good eye on
Don't
it.
tie up the 7 and 9, Johnny.
I didn't think the 7 went past the 1.
Hi, Oliver Ortman here with us. One of my picks to win this. Shows you what I know. How are you? Good to see you. No break shot yet, except for the 11s, mediocre.
It's, yeah, mediocre at best. I think we're going to see 6, 7, and then deal with the 9.
6, 7, and probably play position for the 10. Unless he wants to move one of those balls now.
Well, both of them open up that pocket a little bit more. The 9-ball player is probably going to take that ball up to about the height of the 11-2 there
Most likely, yeah.
and go ahead and shoot the 9.
He went up farther than that.
Couple inches.
Last problem. Not that it's much of one. I believe he has enough angle here to bump the 12 over.
I think he does too. He'd
Be
well in
advised to
line.
be advised to do that with those 3 balls above it for. There we go.
Nice.
Nicely done. Another rack turned over by Charlie Williams, beginning to sound like a broken record.
The beautiful thing is that the players get to go back and hear our nasty comments about them.
Well, I haven't said anything nasty about him personally. I think he'd probably agree that he hasn't played a
No,
blue perfect match.
Exactly. I guarantee that both these players know that this is not their stellar moment.
Well, they're both fighting to find their top form. I think this is the combination on the 5 here,
Just
or
a
the 5 ball
Just
cleanly.
a 5.
Okay,
Wants to open up
yeah.
that hole.
All right, there really isn't a lot of need to send the cue ball around
He
off,
runs a little
off,
bit further here, and he's in trouble.
off 3 rails with 5 open balls on the table. He's got the combination shot up table if he needs it.
That's amazing that he needs a combination after shooting.
It certainly is, but that's one of the perils of 3-rail position unnecessarily is you better be pretty precise about where that cue ball lands. That's the whole game. Okay. What 95% of recreational pool players fail to recognize is that the game is all about stopping the cue ball someplace. You need to send an object ball into a hole if you want another consecutive turn, but the game really depends on where you stop the cue ball.
I have been doing some, Inside Pool has been doing a lot of bar box streaming here in the last couple of weeks. And one of the things that I've been preaching to people is bar box pool, as all pool, is about stopping the cue ball.
Right?
And the shorter the distance you travel, the easier it's going to be
You
to
bet.
stop it accurately.
You betcha.
And it's, you know, it is the real deal. That's the name of any game. It's got.
It's the basic difference between pool and billiards is that in billiards you want to send the cue ball someplace, and in pool you want to stop it someplace. Every now and then you get players who play both games well, but they are 2 very different games.
2 different skills.
Harold Worst was probably the most accomplished we've had in both games. Probably the greatest natural pool player who ever lived, given that pool wasn't even his first game, and yet he was good enough at it that he beat Don Willis. The only known loss Don Willis ever took in Canton was to Harold Worst.
Amazing.
All right, so these 2 players have struggled to a point where they're 2 balls apart. Whoever makes the fewest mistakes in the next 3 racks will win. You hate to pin the game on that.
Nice break shot.
Yes, that was a nice reserved speed, and he's noticed that he's still got 6 balls loose. Part of that is due to the new cloth and new balls, but you still have to give him his props for hitting the cue ball with reserved speed. It's not a game of strength. It's not even desirable. It looks like he'll go 2-5 here. In which case he wants to hope that the 11 ball does not intercept the cue ball en route to the stack.
Well, I think he's got a chance here to come up and hit that 15.
Yeah, right hand draw is what you want to use here. There we go.
Nice shot.
Open like butter. Break
14.
shots to both sides. He can move a
11.
third break shot out here if he wants to.
I like the 11 here.
Yeah, I do
You can
too.
go up into the 13 and then use that carom to push the 6.
I think I'd just push the 6 out right now and save the 4.
Probably have a better angle.
That's what he's going to
Just-
do.
ooh.
He didn't save the 4
Didn't save the 4.
and push the 6 out farther than he anticipated. But the 3 ball is still ideal.
Sure.
Best key ball's coming off the table right here.
Yeah, I'd want to keep the 7, but the 7's going down right here.
I imagine from here his key ball will be the 4. If not, it should be. I don't like the 7 ball for a key ball. Or if that's the 15 over here on the left.
Yeah, that's the 15 ball.
Okay, at least I got the
I don't
maroon-
like that because
I got the maroon part right. In order to use that for key ball, you need to be as close to the rail as possible without being on the rail. A wide angle is not going to do you much good.
He looks like he's coming after the 4 right now.
Yeah.
And here comes the 4. Taking it off the table. I would get over and get this 15. It doesn't entice me whatsoever.
No, it's of no. They're of no further use, Bruce. So let me abos go loose. Remember that?
No.
Timey kangaroo down. Aren't you that old?
No.
By a guy named Ralph Harris. He was Australian, and he used a wiffle board. You know, the things that was his rhythm section. Yeah, I think I'm probably going back to the 60s here, but Timey Kangaroo Down was a big hit. Simple little Australian folk song.
Wow. Never. Never had heard of it.
You're too young,
Probably.
if there is such a thing. I don't think you can be too young or too thin.
Well, right now I don't have any of those problems, so.
Johnny is using a Scorpion Q. They're his sponsor for several years now, made in mainland China. I don't know anybody else who uses one, but that's not to say they're not fine cues. I don't believe there is such a thing as a bad cue maker anymore. Technology is way too advanced. Estimates run as high as 1 cue maker per state in the continental United States, and they all make quality products. Scorpion cues, of course, are mass-produced, but you land a player like this, that's something to be said for your product.
Yeah.
Earl Strickland and Allison Fisher, and now I guess Thorsten, have used or are using graphite cues, but players with that kind of talent can use a garden hoe and run balls. And I'm not talking about the Eddie Murphy type of hoe. This is the type that digs up earth.
Ah, you got a little bit straight from my taste.
He wants to be inside that ball and not outside it.
Yeah, he's
It
got
can be done, but you have to hit the ball so hard, it's probably not worth the risk. Well, he's probably going to gun this ball and hope for contact with the corner ball. Johnny Archer slogs ahead, 174 to 158. 2 racks from home. I guess we're on some kind of delay here because I heard that shot long before I saw it.
It's the desktop.
Ah, okay. I've heard the crowd groan before we saw the results of a shot. Looks like that 11-5 has some possibilities, but it's about to become history.
Yeah, it's
Going to go right now. This will be a power break shot going through rather than off the balls.
A lot of high Q here, and he's going to try and dig
There,
back in
it's,
through.
the forced
there.
follow after the initial contact with the stack is what made that shot successful.
And it seems like he's only managed to re-corral about 8 balls there.
Yeah, I mean, he pushed 8 balls over to one side.
Johnny's looking
And
at it going,
he's
how could
wondering,
they all be broken
why
up with
can't I get 4 on one side and 4 on the other? Yeah, all have to go that way like lemmings? Actually, the lemming gets a bad rap. They do not march suicidally to the sea. The last time I did commentary, one guy objected to something I said, and he told everybody else in the forum, I'm not a lemming and I'm not going to agree with you. which only proves that he knows nothing about lemmings in addition to what else he was complaining about. I'd be happy to see him try to march suicidally to the sea, but I doubt that he will.
I see Carl's out there to make a call.
Did they change referees?
They got the A team out there now. What a great shot.
Guess they determined the last guy was too slow racking the balls.
Poor Bruce.
Okay.
Only got 5 or 6 racks to prove his worth.
There's hardly anything more invisible than a pool referee. A baseball umpire will tell you, in my industry, the highest accolade is silence. You don't even get that as a pool referee. I think you could be on a list of the top 10 pool referees and the FBI's 10 most wanted at the same time. Johnny will select the 13-14 combination to open up that mess on the left-hand side.
Pretty tough to do. Move all the balls into one quadrant
Yeah.
and get out.
If that happened to Siegel, he would have taken care of that quadrant unto itself. He likes to clear sections of the table. And this 13 ball should have come off the rail way before this. Leave the 15-12-2, you got a nice break shot proposition. The 13 horses everything up. Unless you can send the cue ball in between the 15 and 13 to deal with it. Got a rail ball on the other side to deal with, too. He's going to play the 11 here.
May run into the 15. Real solid.
And he did. 12 and 2 is what he wants to leave. I think he's going to have to draw back out of this. He's got to save the 1 if he wants the 12 for a key ball.
Well, the 15 ball might not be a bad shot. He might stop this ball dead.
Yeah, he might go 12-15 for his last 2 balls. But he's straight in on the 15 now. I think we're going to see that dream go up in smoke.
No, I think he's shooting the 2. Slide over.
Okay.
He's going to pick up the 1 next. Soft follow here. Oh, that dream might be going. But I think the 1...
The 1 is makeable here. It's not exactly what you want with 4 balls left on the table, cutting a ball that thin, but he's got to get to the 7. He may go up and down table here, or he could spin to the right. Low left. That's about what he did. It's okay. He's going to have to draw this some.
Yeah. And he can go below this ball and above this ball. But obviously the best thing he can do is get straight in.
Get straight in, sure. Slightly above would be all right. Slightly below means he's going to have to involve the rails.
Which I think that's what we're going to see here.
That'll be okay. And once again, he proves us wrong. All right.
Making sure that everybody knows that we have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, at least we're willing to put our wrong ideas out there. All right, Johnny Archer needs less than a rack to put this to rest.
Well, I see that they've called back Bruce to at least rack the balls. They want to
One guy to rack and one guy to referee. I haven't seen that kind of dichotomy before, but I don't knock it if you haven't tried it. I guess it's wonderful to have a superfluity of officials.
Well, we've got a timekeeper, a racker, and an actual
and a referee and another guy keeping score.
And yeah, well, I thought the
This
players
game
were
is
keeping
becoming a cottage industry.
Look at this. And yeah, we've got 4 officials. I don't think
Basketball
that-
only requires 3, and basketball is more complex than this.
And, you know, I don't even know whether I've been to a tournament where they've had 4 officials in the past.
In total.
In total.
Yeah. Let alone for one match.
For one match. All we got to do is count up to 14 every time.
Uh-huh. Heard the miss and heard the crowd before any of it happened. But okay. I think if had he made the ball, I don't think the cue ball would have found a hole. I think he fouled because he missed. Good break shot he missed, too. There's nothing wrong with the shot.
Well, we're coming up on a 3-hour and 30-minute mark. Well, we're actually past the 3.5-hour mark on this.
That's not
match.
what you call crisp, even for 200 points. I mean, it looks like he might have a dead 4 ball here. If it goes that far, he's probably going to go into the balls now. 10 seconds already, and he's got ball in hand.
So,
Whoa, boy.
There we go. He has the same issue that Johnny had.
Yep.
He suddenly has a quadrant full of balls, and they all have a little bit of space and more work.
We'll see how he can negotiate. A good straight pool player would welcome this. The balls are close together.
Sure.
It's only the 6 and 7 that need a divorce.
The 5 needs to be dealt with
Yeah, but
Fairly.
but that's doable.
at some point.
Charlie
But he'll take care
correctly
of it.
avoids the 3 to get to the up table ball.
He's going to get to the deuce. He'll shoot to the 2
Yeah, I would
after
think
this.
so. I would think so. That's
Move
the
the
that's the
6,
biggest
7.
position. Don't shoot the 2 now. Get that 12 ball out of there.
He heard
Boy,
you.
are these guys stubborn.
They're
Yeah,
in
they
a
haven't learned-
totally different room, folks.
Evidently, I'm trying to keep him from giving away rack number 5.
And he's
And
got
he
on the wrong
missed his
side
position
of the 2.
on the 2. He can accomplish the same thing with the 11, though.
He can do
He can
many
shoot the
things.
3. Yeah, he has options here.
He may decide to use the 4 to come up into some shots. I disagree with that, but I've seen
I
players do that.
wouldn't want him to do that. Stay above the balls if you can. I think he missed position on the 2 again. He can make the 9 now.
Mhm. Probably make
9
the
will 9 will give him position on the 5.
Well, he's using that 9-ball stroke right now. He's in that,
Mhm.
you know, I've got power behind me. If he gets the 9, he's going to come out for the 11 or some other ball like that. And I don't think he doesn't preserve break shots.
No, he doesn't. One of them's going right now.
He's going to
2.
take the 2 out right now.
The 15-9 is still an attractive proposition.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what he's going to do about the 6-7. That's his last remaining problem.
He kept trying to get to it, and he eventually
And
just said, you know
yeah,
what?
but he kept trying to fall on the wrong ball to get to it. Could get it now with the 13. Looks like that's what he's going to do.
He's shooting away his break shots,
Well,
devouring his
oh, he
self.
doesn't have the 13. I'm looking at the wrong ball. Here goes his
Yeah.
break shot.
Shooting this lefty, see if he follows down into the 8.
Nope.
Drew it.
I wouldn't have followed into the 8 either.
Well, I figured with his opposite hand, he's
Yeah.
going to roll that ball in.
Yeah, I mean, do whatever is simplest.
Sure, I
If he-
figured.
He can get on. He can shoot the 13 now to open those balls, or he can play from the 15 to the 5.
He may shoot this 13 and draw into the 6-7.
Yeah, that's the most that's the most logical thing to do.
Five,
I think so.
nick it out.
Yeah, now be careful not to stick on the 6, Charles. Hit the 6 to one side or the other. Do not go into it full face. There's no future. Don't go into it at all then. No, I'll say. He actually has an opportunity here to go from the 11 to the 7 if he wants to use outside draw, because contrary to what a lot of players think, draw does not take place at the where the cue ball meets the object ball. Draw starts taking effect a ball width or 2 past that point, and you get an angle of rebound unlike what you were expecting. Here goes the 13 more or less uselessly. It should have been used to open those 2 balls.
Well, I thought that he was going to use the 11, the 4, and then come up into those balls.
He'll probably use the 4 to separate him now. Or the 6 can be made. Is the 1 ball out? I don't think so. So there's no real break shot.
No. He's running himself into this corner right now.
This is how a
Payne is in behind.
nine ball player will typically play straight pool, one ball at a time, and shoot accurately. But you got to plan ahead farther than that. Charlie knows these things. He just
knows it.
hasn't executed them.
This is just a poorest rack he's executed, I'd say.
Right up there or down there. There goes the 6.
He's
He's stuck
stuck.
on the 7. Get up off of there.
Yeah, listen to him. He's
Well, it got past the pocket point. I don't think he can get to it though with the cue ball
I
without
think
curving
he can
the
get
cue
the
ball.
11. No,
You think he can? And he's
no.
not looking at it like he can.
He's sure looking at it like there's nothing there.
Might want to play you might want to play a carom off the 8 ball into the 6.
You want to get some thought? Oh, you called?
He's calling for a referee as part of the ploy to have a little bit more time.
He called for an extension too.
And he called for the extension, and now we get Carl out there. Carl joins us in the booth, has been here giving us some information all along.
Good guy for pool. He loves pool.